Fafita, gun, takes the snap, firing, corner of the end zone. Cop, touchdown, Arizona.
That's a strike by Noah Fafita.
Short drop, looking right. Here comes the pressure. They sack him, get him to the ground. Oh, perfect timing for the Wildcats. Kick is up and it's blocked. Wildcats block it and they pick it up. And I don't think anybody's going to catch him. And it's picked off. Trayton Stukes throws to the back of the end zone. And it's caught. Samuelson, touchdown, Arizona.
Bear down, Cats. Let's go. Our Window Depot coverage of UA football begins with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed. Life well lived. We are counting down to kickoff for Arizona football. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Bachmeyer going to hand off to Martin. He breaks a tackle inside the 20, 15, 10-5, and in the end zone, touchdown BYU. Fafita will take the snap, back to throw, has some time, waits, fires for the corner of the end zone. Hudson there, makes the catch, touchdown Arizona! Going deep down the far sideline, into the corner of the end zone, it is caught, inbounds, touchdown Arizona! Oh my goodness, another Fafita gem. Puts Spivey in motion, handoff Ricino. He's got the first down, breaks the tackle, inside the 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Arizona. Kingston back, makes the catch at his own 27, breaks a tackle, breaks another, now breaks free to the 40, out to the 50, and pulled out of bounds at the Arizona 46. Bachmeyer to the shotgun, will take it, rolling right. Now he's going to run it, he's in the end zone, touchdown BYU. Fafita will take the snap, back to throw, looking, fires, back corner of the end zone, and it's incomplete. And BYU is going to win the game.
Definitely a little sick. You know, we had a lot of chances to finish the game how we wanted to. Left some stuff on the field, but, you know, you can't go back in time.
It is Football Saturday in Texas. It is the Arizona Wildcats and the Houston Cougars on homecoming down in the Lone Star State. And we've got an early one today, 11 a.m. Central Time for this kickoff, which means 9 a.m. for us here in Southern Arizona. And that is why we are with you folks here at 4:30 in the morning. Welcome to Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. My name is David Kelly, and we've got the whole entire group here coming with you this morning. We've got the captain, Kelvin Efon, here this morning. We've got Glenn Howe as well. We'll talk to you coming up today, 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 as we get you set for Arizona football here. We've got you for the next 3 hours. Brody Dryden, Kyle Quinn will take over at 7:30, leading up to kickoff in Texas. Brian Jeffries, Lamont Lovett, and Mackenzie Hamilton will have all of that for you as well. Let's start things off by letting you know what we've got coming up for you over the course of the next 3 hours.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, we'll get our first look at today's game between Houston and Arizona. The Wildcats won handily over the Cougars last season here in Tucson. We'll give you your offensive scouting report, a breakout game for Kedrick Ricino as he returns from an early season injury against BYU, and some issues in the red zone for your Arizona Wildcats. On the defensive side of the ball, the turnovers continued, but the Wildcats struggled a bit containing the inside run game in the loss to BYU. We'll dive into all of that and hear from defensive coordinator Danny Gonzalez, as well as defenders Trayton Stukes, Riley Wilson on that side of it. DK with BB, my questions this week, not a lot. There was only one press conference, as we have gone to now with road games, but I got in a few to the head coach, Brent Brennan, and you will hear those. We will go in the huddle with Howe, and our guest today is
Niels Fox, center from class of 1984. He was a starting center for 2 years, and he had a relative or a family member, there's another Arizona Wildcat, and we'll let you guys guess that.
Ooh, I'm trying to think of maybe who that is.
I got it already.
Yeah.
I got it.
And on the captain's corner this morning, it will be
None other than Brandon Sanders, U of A safety, class of 95. Hey, I don't got to say too much. I think everybody know exactly who that is.
Brandon Sanders doing an outstanding job working within the athletic department now as a member of the staff under both came on during the Jed Fish era here at the University of Arizona, and now continuing with Brett and Brennan. Both of those guys played for the legendary Dick Tomey here at the University of Arizona. And we'll have also, an opportunity to beat the book today. Arizona is a 1.5-point favorite in this game down in Houston, and the over-under for it is 47.5. Just a few of the things we've got coming up for you today on our show. All right, what's happening as far as Houston and Arizona second time around in the Big 12?
It's time to take our first look at today's game. Brought to you by the Window Depot. The Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindowdepot.com.
All right, Arizona coming off a loss to BYU. It was not what we wanted because the Wildcats got themselves into an early hole. They dug themselves out of that hole and had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter, but then things fell apart as Arizona just could not close out the ball game, and they lost it in double overtime. It was this week the defensive coordinator, Danny Gonzalez, falling on his sword for what happened last Saturday night at the stadium.
I've sat up here and said this before. I hate losing more than I enjoy winning. And as gut-wrenching as that was, if the city of Tucson wants to be mad at somebody in the Wildcat Nation, go ahead and be mad at me. I begged you and Coach B, we really convinced you to dig in and buy in on this football team. And when you lose a game like that, it's gut-wrenching and everybody wants to burn the village down and get rid of everything. And we're in the process of building something that I think can be special. There's going to be those growing pains. We didn't finish an opportunity that we sat in control of it. And much like the Kansas State game, with 5 minutes to go, we put the defense out there. And I sat here in this chair on March 22nd, 2025, and said, we have enough talent to be a top 10, top 15 defense in this country. And guess what? We're a top 15 defense in this country through 6 games. And so our ideas, doesn't matter what happens the rest of the game, if we've got an opportunity and a touchdown lead or a 10-point lead with 7 minutes to go or 4 minutes to go, put us on the field and we'll close it. We didn't. We had opportunities and we didn't. Referees aren't excuses. We had an opportunity. It took them 8 plays to score from the 8-yard line. And we had opportunities to get off the field. We didn't.
Yeah, I mean, but, guys, it really was a little bit of everybody in that game the other night. When you look at the fact, obviously, the offense had an opportunity to shut the game down in that final drive, and they did not do it. And then the defense had an opportunity to, like they did against Kansas State, he mentioned, shut the game down, and they could not do it. And then special teams gave up a big, long punt return that gave BYU a short field to go down and tie the game. So it was a little bit of everybody in that game, Saturday.
Yeah, it was a team effort. Team effort, baby. That was a team effort of losing that game. And you know what? His comment on, that everyone wants to burn. Yeah, there's going to be fans. I know I get on some of those boards and listen to some of that stuff, and some of those guys are just absolutely crazy. I mean, it's just
content.
It's like, come on, man. Are you serious that you got to fire everybody? I mean, we played with BYU. I just heard over the radio before we came in. They said that BYU is one of the top teams in the Big 12, and they're underrated team, that they're one of the best teams and one of the best teams in the country. I mean, come on. We played against BYU. We came back. We got buried 14-0.
Right.
We were down 14-0. We came back. We came back. And we came roaring back, and then we just couldn't hold on. We got to get these guys got to learn how to win those games, and that's what they'll do. They'll learn how to win those games, and I think that this coaching staff is trying to prepare them for it, and I think they will be able to do that.
Yeah, I hate to say it, 4-2 is pretty good.
Yeah,
4-2 is pretty good. You don't want to. I mean, of course, you want to win that game because you feel like you had it right there. But as Glenn said, that was a comeback. I mean, they had us down. The weather came in and helped us out a little bit. gave us a little break. Gave us a chance to get everything back on track. And the guys came back and played well and put us in a position to win that game. Unfortunately, we lost it, right? And there's a lot of things that we can go back and look at on both sides of the ball and special teams where we could have finished that game. But to me, that should make the guys optimistic. That should make the fans optimistic that you saw your team with a chance to win versus a top-ranked team, a team that could easily finish in the top 10 in this country. So, you're on the right track, right? So hopefully you got that momentum to come out and be able to win this weekend right here. That's what it's really about, putting that game behind you and being able to come back and win this one. But, every game is doomsday.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
You got to be better than that. Yes, you critique the game and see the different things that you see was wrong and you come in on them, but no, I mean, I'm not one of those fans that, think it's all over.
Yeah, and when you get close to a game that you know that you should have won, the guys talk.
Yeah.
The guys talk and say, hey, man, we can't have this happen again. And, we don't want this to happen again. And they talk about it. And some teams get it solved and some teams don't get it solved. And I want to know what team we're going to be. Are we going to get that solved? We're going to have the leadership on that team to makes everybody understand we are a good football team. Because I was I said, we have a good football team. So are we going to be able to get those guys, the leadership, to get together and say, hey, man, we got to win this. We got to win. We can win some games.
And I add one more thing to that, DK. He said we have a good football team because we know what bad football is.
Yeah, exactly.
We've seen bad football.
Absolutely.
I mean, we all as fans, as witnesses, you don't have to be a former player to know what bad football look like.
Absolutely.
We've seen some games. So, yeah, guys, I know I've been around in the community. Yes, we're disappointed about a couple, but everybody's ecstatic about being 4-2 instead of
exactly
0-99.
Yep.
All right, let's hear from the quarterback, Noah Fafita. As we normally do, he speaks after every single Arizona Wildcats loss.
You never want to lose, and it hurts. But at the end of the day, football is a game of momentum, and there were momentum shifts in the game. But I thought there was, like Stooksy said, man, we had chances to ice the game. We had chances to keep the momentum on our side, or bring the momentum back, and we missed those opportunities.
Michael. For Noah, if you include the overtimes, I think you guys scored only one touchdown inside the red zone, the 5 chances tonight. What do you think was going on?
Yeah, I think we just gotta. In the red zone, everything gets faster. So you got to be super detailed. You got to be on time with everything, with steps, with footwork, timing, and obviously ball placement. So I think we missed a lot of opportunities, especially on my part. I know I missed 2 throws, and I think our second red zone drive down by the jumbotron. So those are opportunities you can't miss. And at the end of the day, I think the red zone told the story.
Yeah, I mean, and we'll dive into that whole thing. Again, you got to be able to get touchdowns. If you can get touchdowns when you get down there, that's going to be the key to winning football games, and they just were not able to do that against a pretty good BYU defense on Saturday night.
And he's absolutely right. Not only gets faster, it gets smaller.
Yeah.
Okay. And those routes and everything that's happening has to happen precisely at the right time. And you have to have the timing of it, and you got to release the ball. You got to get the ball out of your hands fast. That's the way it is. When you get inside the 20, it's almost like a defensive. The defense has the advantage because it's a smaller space to cover. And we have to be very creative. I just think we got to be a little bit more creative inside the 20. Do some rub routes, do some different things. I think that those kinds of things I didn't really see, and and we can still get first downs inside of 20.
Right, and I add to that, we just got to be more physical inside of it.
Yes,
I think
absolutely.
I was one of the best goal line guys in history at this school, and the way that we got 12-1, and we had to pass the ball. We had some of the best receivers in school history and quarterbacks. Both of them was up in that stadium, right?
Yeah.
Our receivers up in that stadium, so we had a dynamic offense. But when we got around that goal line, man, we got physical with you.
Yeah.
We got physical with you, and we bullied you. You knew what was coming, and we brought it to your face.
Yeah.
And we didn't change it until the very end of the year when we started, faking and using me as a decoy to go to other guys. But, you got to find some guys around that goal line. I think we have the running backs. I think we have the inside core with the center and the two guards to be able to attack people and get downhill on them, man, and get that threat. Because as long as Noah is the quarterback here, good teams are going to drop 7. They're going to drop 7. They're going to double team your 2 best receivers, and then they're going to have guys zoning the other 2 guys. Yeah. So that's what it's going to be, guys, as long as you have your quarterback is the highest paid guy.
Yeah.
Danny Gonzalez, again, took the fall. He talked about burning down the village. Let's not do that because he feels like the Wildcats right now have a good core of coaches, and they are building this thing in the right direction.
All the let's burn the village down, understand we're building with continuity. We've been here for a year and a half. This is a good football team in Tucson. Are we great yet? We are not. Are we elite yet? We are not. Can we get there between now and the end of the season? We can if they keep attacking it. And I said this way back then too. You don't have to have the most talent. You have to have enough. And we have enough talent to be a good football team. We don't have enough talent to beat ourselves in critical moments. And so I'm still all in. I love the 5-2-0. Absolutely freaking think this place is fantastic. Okay? And the emotion and the passion from Saturday, I'm glad it hurt people. Okay? It sucks that we lost. Freaking hate that. And like I said, I hate freaking losing. I mean, I'm walking out the field. My wife thinks I'm freaking crying. I'm just violently ill. Because you put all that in, and the fact that the city of Tucson felt the same way, and they're a little pissed off because we had a 10-point lead, guess what? That means people care.
That's true. I mean, again, and I said earlier in the week, people started believing. You start to believe when a team starts 4-1 that maybe they're a little bit better than you initially thought they were. And of course, anytime you have an advantage like they had at the end of the game and you can't hold on, that just makes it even more difficult to stomach for sure. All right, it is Arizona and Houston today. The Cougars are 5-1. On the season, 5-1, and if they win today, they are bowl eligible in Willie Fritz's second season on the job. He compared college football this week to being like a TV dinner.
Our theme this year is Houston 2025. In this day and age with the portal and NIL and rev share and all those other kind of things, guys are going to be moving. And we want to keep guys here forever and develop the heck out of them. I think that's the only way you can truly develop a guy. But we want these guys to, get that closeness that great teams have, and we got to do it in a hurry, because when this year gets over, this will be the last time that this group of guys will be together. And it's like that every year. You lose your seniors, obviously, but it's even more in this day and age. We talked about, we're cooking things like we're cooking it in a microwave, not an oven. Cooking it for 2 minutes, not 40 minutes.
Yeah. I like that. Cooking it for 2 minutes, not 40 minutes. I like that.
Yeah, he's right. He's right because the rosters are turning over fast, and that's the thing. That's the thing about what you have. Is how do you develop guys? If you see guys' potential, are they willing to wait and be developed, or they run to get the bag? And they feel that they can go somewhere else and get and start again. As a player, I know I would want the bag. Right. Okay, but you know what? But then you got to think about you got to start all over again with meeting guys and everything because that's not it. That's not. We're going to talk about that. Today in the huddle is that how it is when you come in JC guy, you don't know anybody and that's just what we got a bunch of JC guys coming in it's guys coming from all over the place and you got to meet guys and you got to know the city, you got to know it's difficult. It's difficult for players right now, even though the bag makes it a little bit better. but still, the money, but still, it's pretty difficult.
Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. It is the Wildcats. It is the Houston Cougars, and that is our first check-in on today's game.
That's our first look at the game. Brought to you by the Window Depot. The Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindowdepot.com. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona football is just getting started. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 1 of the pregame show is brought to you by Advantage Air and Mechanical, Cactus Auto Company, Casino del Sol, Done Right Services, Drain Masters, First Chiropractic, Idaho Central Credit Union, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, Royal GMC, Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, The Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
If you're ready to build your dream home, let the Window Depot help. Our expertise spans more than 20 years helping contractors provide custom windows built to last. Our in-house design team works closely with you and your contractor to create the perfect windows. From design to delivery, your contractor will have exactly what they need when they need it. And with the largest inventory and unbeatable prices, your dream windows are just a step away. Visit us in store to get started or find a location near you at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot. Best prices, biggest inventory.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
You mean they don't use yesterday's newspaper?
No, they use the latest in technology and innovation to eliminate bugs, bees, termites, weeds, and more.
So no as seen on TV salt guns?
Nope, only solutions that target insect biology, using chemistry to help protect the environment, people, and their pets.
You are so smart.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
Up your game in a new Buick or GMC from Royal Buick GMC. At Royal, we always deliver a quality vehicle at a great price. Score a great deal with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff and our transparent online pricing. Plus, Royal offers a 72-hour buyback guarantee. Score big at Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. See dealer for details. Royal Buick GMC in the Tucson Auto Mall or royaltucson.com.
Ugh, no, not the sink. Not now.
Plumbing issues can put your life on pause. But with anytime emergency scheduling, the neighborly Done Right promise, and more, Mr. Rooter Plumbing will have your life flowing again in no time.
All fixed.
Much better.
Mr. Rooter is proud to cheer on the Cats. Mention this ad for 10% off any plumbing service. A win for the whole family. Bear down, Arizona.
Mr. Rooter Plumbing, a neighborly company.
Nobody does big screens like this. At Roadhouse Cinemas, every movie is massive with thundering surround sound and food and drinks delivered to your seat. Then, just steps away, Roadies, Lanes, Games, and Gastropub turns Game Day into an event. Huge screens with every play in full view. Hit the lanes, throw an axe, battle it out in laser tag, crush it in the arcade, or crazy darts. Movies, sports, food, fun, all in one place. Roadhouse and Roadies, two epic experiences, one unbeatable destination. Corner of Grant and Swan.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of five-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Back your hometown favorite. Get your very own exclusive University of Arizona debit card from Hughes Federal Credit Union. Pair your new card with a free checking account that earns dividends with no monthly fees, no minimum balance, and convenient 24/7 online and mobile banking. Visit one of our 7 convenient branch locations to get your card instantly or open an account online at hughesfcu.org/wildcats. Show your Wildcat spirit all year long with Hughes Federal Credit Union. Certain restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' Cay. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Visit Lennar's 2 communities in Rocking K with home savings up to $25,000 and limited time interest rate and closing cost incentives on select move-in ready homes. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Our Window Depot coverage of UA football continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the tight end, Glenn Howell, and the captain, Calvin Efon.
Risano is the running back. Fafita's going to work out of the shotgun on 4th down. BYU plugging up that front. And they put Spivey in motion. Handoff Risano. He's got the first down. Breaks the tackle. Inside the 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Arizona.
Kedrick Risano blows the game wide open, just like the Arizona offensive line blew a hole in the BYU defense. What a run by Kedrick Risano.
Absolutely spectacular. They needed a half yard, and Ked Risano goes 36 for the touchdown, and the Wildcats lead at 23-14.
Just a dive, almost like a dive play right off the right, and Kedrick, he put his shoulder down, broke a tackle, and there was no one else there. He just took off.
Second rushing touchdown of the season for Kedrick Risano.
Here is the offensive scouting report for today's game.
Fafita, gun, takes the snap, firing, corner of the end zone. Kopp breaks away at the 5. He's in the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona.
The offensive scouting report is brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Yeah, one of the several Wildcats will be heading home to play today. Kedrick Risano out of New Caney, Texas, a suburb north of the city of Houston, Texas. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day, 520-848-1290. Get in on the conversation. Give us a call. Give us a text. We'll talk to you this morning. We are up early. Hope you are up early as well. Maybe getting your morning workout in with the headphones in on the treadmill or at the gym. Maybe if they got Roku, they can flip up the video stream of our show today. Kedrick Risano has dealt with some injuries this season. He's just glad to get back in the lineup and contribute to his team.
I don't really want to talk about what I've been dealing with physically, but what I can say is that it's great to be back. You know, I mean, all my teammates embraced me, you know, coming back from what I came back from, but, you know, it just feels good.
And do you feel that you were at your best this past game?
I think so. Top physical condition, as far as that, but I think I have more to offer.
Now, and it's interesting, guys. Again, and you know, there have been some injuries, obviously, this season. You talk about Trey Smith is going to be out for the year. Kedrick is dealt with some things. Chris Hudson was dealing with some things early in the season. Is now maybe starting to find his groove as well. And you have lost a couple of other guys, but for the most part, this team has stayed relatively healthy through this first half of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you look at some of the other reports of the teams that we played recently, man.
I don't know if you saw Arizona State's injury report.
There
was like 20 guys on
They're
it.
like the 49ers, man. They're like the 49ers, man. I mean, it's unbelievable. But you got to give credit to the medical staff and the strength and conditioning staff. They're doing something right. They're doing something, keeping these kids healthy, keeping them on the field. That's the biggest thing as a strength and conditioning coach, is that you want to see that injury report after every game, and you want to be able to say, hey, man, that's a good injury report. Not too many guys out. Got maybe a couple nicks, you know, getting for a couple bruises. But other than that, no pulled hamstrings, no shoulders torn out, things like that. Those are the things that we look. No pec tears or bicep tears and things like that. It's because of all the conditioning you've done prior to the season and even before the season.
And you give the players credit for that, too, for buying in and believing and doing the things that they need to do.
Bodies.
Taking care of their body. But you also got to give some credit to winning. Because trust me, DK, when you winning, those little injuries and stuff don't hurt as much. You
Exactly.
want to be there. You want to be around. You want to be a part of what's going on. So you figure out a way, to play through some of those things. So it's a lot of that too. A lot of those, that good aura around the squad with that winning feeling.
On your Arizona Wildcats availability report today, really only one rotational guy is up there right now, and that is Chris Hunter. He was when the first report came out on Wednesday, he was questionable, but he has been upgraded to probable, so Chris Hunter should be good to go. And with Kedrick Reeseno healthy, you've got a full complement of running backs. It's been interesting to kind of watch how they have used the guys. 2 weeks ago, Ishmael Mahdi got the bulk of the snaps. Last week, it was Quincy Craig who got 37 of the offensive snaps. There were 83 total in the ball game. Kedrick, when all three running backs are healthy, Arizona's offense can be very tough to deal with.
I think we like a three-headed snake, you know what I mean? Like, no way you can stop all three of us, you know what I mean? Like, it's dangerous.
Obviously, you guys have had issues in the red zone, situations where you want to score touchdowns and you're ending up with field goals, or you're turning the ball over and downs. What have the coaches been talking about this week as far as improving in the red zone?
Man, we just gotta finish and keep our foot on their neck. You know what I mean? Like I say, our mindset is changing. Like he can call whatever he wants. If we detailed, nobody can stop us.
And it's interesting. I can't really quite figure out in terms of this rotation what exactly. And like I said, I mean, one game you've got Ishmael in there a lot. And I asked Coach about this earlier in the week, and you'll hear that in our segment with him, DK, with BB, I should say. But I haven't really quite figured out exactly. It's not one guy. And we've heard Alonzo Carter say 1A, 1B, 1C. But it just seems to change week to week. What do you guys make of kind of how they're using these guys in each of these games?
Well, yeah, I personally think as far as for a running back, you got three guys at a position. Basically, you come in with whoever you think is the guy from the previous week, and you start out the game with him, and then you go with whoever the hot guy is. So whoever's breaking runs, who's making things happen, as a running back group, we understand that's the way it go, all the way back to when me and Tron played. I mean, you can just go on and on in the history of being in the running back room. There's one and usually two or three on a team. And so when that one guy is playing well, usually as a group, we're not jealous of that guy. We let him go. He's hot. Because guess what? When I'm hot, I want you to let me go too. And all these guys have taken turns doing it, so there shouldn't be any problem in the reality. I tell a lot of kids a lot of time, be careful what you ask for, meaning that you asked to play Division I football. And this is what Division I football is, especially in the running back position. The last thing you want to do is give a guy all the carries, DK. He get hurt, and then you bringing a guy in that doesn't have any experience. So when guys go down right now, we don't even feel it, right? Because the next guy just steps in and keep it pushing. So, I just think that it's a group thing. Running back now in this day and age is a group position, right? It's going to be hard to get any more Kadeem carries and Trump candidates.
Yeah. Because I just don't think they're going to put the mileage on them, man. I mean, that's the thing that you have to have for a 12-game season in college football now. You have to have durability at that position, and if you spread it out a little bit, that's why guys there's no guy that's going to get 40 carries, 30 carries. He made one game maybe, but not usually. You're not. If you get 15 to 20 carries, you good.
A lot. Yeah.
It's Arizona and Houston today down in Texas. Let's pause for station identification. This is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. KCUV Tucson, a Cumulus Media station. The Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com. And it is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. We got the full crew here. JW Madden running the controls, flying the plane for us this morning. I've got Glenn Howell and Kelvin Ifan as well. My name is David Kelly. We're taking a look at Arizona's offense so far. Let's hear from Alonzo Carter on his three top running backs when you look at Kedrick Reeseno, Ishmael Mahdi, and Quincy Craig.
The strength is that they are very versatile. They all can line up out wide, and they also can run inside zone, outside zone, whatever it is we need them to do. And I think that's something that will help us in the long run, because people won't be able to say when X is in the game or so-and-so is in the game, this is going to happen. You know, we're able to do different things and do it at a high level. And it's just something that I love about coaching in this offense, having great help with Coach Lau Moival, you know, former quarterback. He's in the room with us as well. So having him with me every day has been a blessing to work with him and Coach Daggy to bring the best out of these young men.
Yeah, it's nice to have. And not only you got a running backs coach, you got an assistant running backs coach who was a pretty good quarterback,
really good
in the Pac-12. Lyle Moyaval. Again, I think it's a great thing to have right now, and I'm anxious to see kind of how it works today with these three running backs between Kedrick Risino and Ishmael Mahdi and your other guy there, Quincy Craig. All right, one of the issues that the Wildcats had last week was in the red zone.
Noah will take the snap, back to throw, looking middle, sliding left. Here comes pressure, flushed out of the pocket, throws it up for grabs in the end zone, intercepted by BYU. They'll take over now at their own 5. Well, it was probably going to be BYU football either way.
Yeah.
And it will go as an interception.
It's a bummer to not get points out of that.
On the field is an interception. First down, BYU. Timeout on the field.
That was one of 6 times that the Wildcats went for it on 4th down last week. They were able to convert on 4 of those 6. Noah throwing that interception. They went down to the red zone, did not get as many touchdowns as they would have liked on those visits. Seth Daggy, offensive coordinator, on why things did not go as well for the Wildcats when they got inside the 20 last week.
Too many mistakes in the red zone, whether it be penalties, whether it be missed assignments, whether it be missed throws. You just can't, you're not going to be able to score that way. And so that was the most disappointing thing. And then I think in overtime, obviously the hold that neglects a touchdown, I really felt like that was game over when we scored. That put us in a hole. And then, I felt like Noah, gave us a chance on that last play to extend the game. So a lot of positives, obviously heartbreaking. Danny says this all the time. There's no moral victories for me. At the end of the day, we didn't get it done, and we had a chance offensively, especially with 4 minutes left to extend it. You have to run the ball the first 2 plays just to keep the drive going, to keep the clock running. You have to. I felt like the second play, they finally gave us like coverage, on a normal down that we actually had, an advantage box, and we ended up getting 1 yard maybe. And so, the third down call, we have Chris Hudson wide open on the return route. We just can't get to him because we can't pass off the twist game correctly. So, lack of execution kind of ended that drive. And so, like I said, at the end of the day, we didn't get it done, and there's a lot of things to clean up. But I'm really proud of our kids because they freaking battled.
All right, several things he said that we'll have to come back to, but I do want to get in a little bit later in the show, just some of the issues that the Wildcats did have and some of the other things that we heard from Seth Daggy after that ball game earlier this week when he chatted. But that's our initial peer into what's going on with the Arizona offense.
That's the Wildcats Offensive Scouting Report. The Offensive Scouting Report is brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. There's a rumor summer might finally be over. And with cooler temperatures on the way, it's a good time to stop by any of the 14 area Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care locations for a free tire inspection and air pressure check. If it's time for tires, the long-lasting Michelin Defender 2 is your Arizona-proof choice. Check out jackfurriers.com for savings on Michelin and all your favorite brands. More savings and no hidden extras. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
It's Which is Riches, only from Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun. Club Sol members can swipe daily to enter drawings held Friday and Sunday from 6 to 8 p.m., where winners get to pick from the Witch's Cauldron to see which prize is rich with $500 free play. It's Which is Riches, now through October 31st, only at Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun, an enterprise of the Boscoyaki tribe.
Coach Tommy Lloyd here. Did you spend money on your AC this summer? My friends at Rightway will give you back up to $3,000 for those repairs. Not
That's right. No matter who did the repair, we'll buy it back for up to $3,000 towards the purchase of a new heating and air system.
No repair bills this year? No worries. Get 0% financing and no payments for 18 months. $3,000 trade-in for your old AC. 10-year parts and labor warranty. Plus a free system upgrade.
Have an aging heating and air system out of warranty? We'll inspect it absolutely free. Call Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing today. 520-201-8220.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
From the shadows of your bathroom comes a villain with 2 pinchers, 1 stinger, and 0 respect for your home.
Scorpions can make your home feel like a scary movie. At Blue Sky Pest Control, we rewrite the script. We keep scorpions out of your home so your story stays drama-free. Call Blue Sky Pest Control today. Hello, Blue Sky. Goodbye, scorpions.
Looking for quality windows without the wait? Come to the Window Depot. We carry a huge selection of Milgard windows, in stock now and ready for pickup. Need something custom? No problem. From new construction to full home replacement, we'll help you order the perfect Milgard windows built to fit your space, style, and budget. Whether you're a homeowner or contractor, the Window Depot makes it easy to get the windows you need fast. Visit thewindowdepot.com to find a location near you and see why we're your Milgard window experts.
Hi, this is Tim Couch, retired NFL quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, partner at Meridian Wealth Management, and proud member of Meridian's Tucson Advisory Business Council. It's my favorite time of year, college football season. I've always been a proud Wildcat. As our firm has grown in Tucson with Ruben and Natalie Fernandez, I now cheer on 2 Wildcats every year. My alma mater of Kentucky, of course, and our U of A Cats. Here's to a great football season, and go Cats.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Hey, it's Mrs. HVAC. If you're anything like me, a mom, a wife, and maybe a little bit crazy about the air I breathe and the water I drink, then listen up. Picture Rock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing has you in mind with our home wellness check. That's 3 visits a year to make sure your AC is happy, your plumbing isn't plotting against you, and your water isn't secretly weird. We'll even test your water quality because you deserve spa water, not swamp vibes. Let's keep your home sane, even if you're not. Call us today or book online at picturerockscooling.com.
Looking for top-notch lumber and framing? Johnson Manley Lumber has been your trusted expert since 1970, specializing in both residential and commercial projects. Our experienced teams, cutting-edge technology, and reliable supply chain ensure your framing is on time and on budget every time. We're proud to be employee-owned and community-rooted in Tucson. Learn more at johnsonmanley.net. Proud supporter of the University of Arizona radio broadcast. Go Wildcats.
There's never a good time for plumbing issues.
No.
Honey, my parents are here.
Oh, man.
Don't worry. With Drainmasters in Tucson, not only do you get local, professional, full-service plumbing with 24/7 scheduled or emergency service, you get a lifetime transferable warranty on all house water repiping. So this...
They brought my aunts and uncles, too.
...is gonna be fine. Drainmasters, we do it all. And now offering financing. Solid service, fair price, guaranteed. DrainmastersTucson.com.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Our Window Depot coverage of UA football continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the tight end, Glenn Howell, and the captain, Calvin Efon. Let's go In the Huddle with Arizona letterman Glenn Howell. In the Huddle with Howell is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Kaiser, with over 30 years of serving Southern Arizona.
Welcome into this week's edition of In the Huddle with Howell, presented by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. I'm U of A tight end Glenn Howell, class of 1985, and our guest today is one of my good buddies, good friend, Niels Fox. He's a starting center from 83 and 84, JC transfer, the class of 1984. Niels, how you doing?
Glenn, good morning, man. Happy to be in the huddle with you guys.
Right on. How's everything good? Everything good for you?
It's going great. And one thing I was thinking here, we're in the huddle. One of the last times you and I were in a huddle together, it was against the University of Washington at Washington. They were ranked number 1 in the country, and we were actually hanging in there with them. In fact, at halftime, we were ahead 6-0. But I don't know if you remember this, but Charlie Dickey, you're and my former roommate, and Kurt DiGiacomo, they got in an argument in the huddle.
In the huddle with Ron Holmes, about Ron Holmes.
Ron Holmes was an All-American at the University of Washington. He went on to have an NFL career like 10 years. I think he made 4 or 5 Pro Bowls. I mean, the guy was a total stud, but Kurt and Charlie started arguing with each other because Kurt says, "Man, that guy's good." And Charlie, in his Mike Tyson voice, starts going, "What the hell are you doing? Don't
that's exactly what Charlie. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you! I told that story a couple of weeks ago about that with Kurt. That's amazing that you brought that up, man. So
Niels, man, it's one of my favorite stories from the times that we were playing, man.
That's
Charlie,
awesome.
like I said, he had. Charlie was as tough as they come, but he had that Mike Tyson voice.
Yeah, exactly. He's talking about Charlie Dickey, who's now the assistant offensive line coach at Ohio State, and one of the best offensive line coaches in the country.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So Niels, what did you do after you're done at the U of A? Tell us about what happened into your present life, what you're doing now.
Yeah, no, sounds great. Yeah, so after U of A, what happened? So first, I was an undrafted free agent with the Dallas Cowboys in '85, and from the time I signed as an undrafted free agent until I was released was actually about 4 months. Now, a lot of that, 2 months of that was just working out in Tucson, getting ready to go to camp and stuff like that. But so then when I got cut from the Cowboys, school had already started for a couple weeks, school back at U of A.
Mm-hmm.
And I had not graduated yet. So I took a year off, worked, but I went back to school. Now, a really cool thing, when I went back to school after taking the year off, back to the U of A to get my degree, I was still on scholarship, even though I wasn't playing, because my eligibility had run out. But that was a huge deal to me that Arizona still honored that scholarship. And then after I graduated, went to work full time. And the funny thing now, actually, so the industry I'm in, when I was at U of A, when you and I were there, Glenn, there was no NIL money, nothing like that.
No NIL, no money.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact,
we worked
we
for
were
our
just
money.
flat
I
out
remember
poor.
those days.
Yeah, and do you remember it might have been spring break, but it was when you and I worked together. But there was a road
when we went to
construction
the paving thing,
right?
With
yeah. So it was road construction. Now the funny thing back then, because there was no NIL, an alumni had a road construction company. They hired us to do work, and by the way, people like Steve Kerr, who's now the
guys.
He worked. All the guys worked there,
Yeah, Sean Rooks was on there with us, and Anthony Cook.
Sean Elliott.
Yeah, Sean Elliott was working with us.
Anthony
that was the
Cook.
hardest job that was a serious job.
Oh, my God. Well, you know what's funny, Glenn? What I tell people that, road construction, crack sealing on hot asphalt streets in Southern California in the summer with a hot asphalt rubber material to seal them off. And it's funny, that work was so difficult. It was almost like going to Camp Cochise, our pre-season. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Except you were getting paid big money. You might remember. Oh my gosh, you would make great money. In the mid '80s, you'd make you would take home $600, $800 as a college kid back then with
We were big bank
$150 rent. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anyway, but I stayed in that industry. It's kind of a civil engineering and structural engineering industry, even though that's not my degree. I got a business degree from the U of A, but it's worked out really well. You know, you work hard and you solve problems for people, and, you know, you advance in your career. You know, so now what's happening, in fact, a company that does those kind of civil engineering and structural engineering repairs, you know, making sure structures are safer, making sure they last longer. I now work for that company. I'm helping them open an office here in LA, because they're originally a back east company. So that's what I'm doing now.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
No, it's been great. It's been great.
So Niels, when you came to the U of A, we were all of us shocked. We came in as JCs and everything. We're shocked that, you know, you were going to be a father. Okay.
Yeah.
And all of us were just blown away. Okay. About what would we do if we were a father. So tell us about how that was for you being a father at 19. Well, you're 19 years old, and where how are your kids doing now? And when you were becoming a father at U of A, what was the name of your son? Who was your son that eventually came here?
Yeah, no, it was super fun, and I now look back on it and say it was super fun. But I'll tell you what, man, it was people like yourself and Charlie and Kurt and our other teammates that now in hindsight, oh no, you guys carried me through all that, because it's a lot for a 19-year-old to handle to be a new father. And especially what I was back then, I was an immature 19-year-old. You know, like there are 19-year-olds, they're on it, they're mature, they're ready. Well, I was the other guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but man, having people like you around, and again, and Charlie Dickey, Kurt DiGiacomo, I mean, you name it. I mean, Ricky and Lamont Hunley, they used to play with my kids out on the football field. But yeah, so it was definitely a big challenge. But man, you know, when you're part of a family like you are at the U of A and Wildcat football, I mean, again, you all just carried me through it. But yeah, so no, but what yeah, so my I'll go in order of oldest to youngest. My stepdaughter, her name is Tiffany Walls Fox.
Mm-hmm.
She came with me to the U of A, and of course her mom. And at that time, she was 2 or 3. And again, I remember you, Glenn, playing with her on the football field.
She was great.
Yeah, and Ricky and Lamont playing with her on the field too. But yeah, so what she is now actually an attorney, and she works like in insurance things and stuff like that too. But her biological father, a wonderful man named Larry Walls, he worked with the district attorney's office in LA for a long time. He passed away in the past couple of years, and he has a charity, and she is now carrying on the tradition of that charity, Tiffany Walls Fox. So super proud of her for that. So then next in line is the son who was born at the U of A while I was there at the U of A, and that's Isaiah Fox.
Yeah.
And he played basketball with Lute. He was on the team with Channing Frye and Andre Iguodala and Salim Stoudemire and in fact, Glenn, in his time at the U of A, they went to 2 different Elite Eights. They went to 3 Sweet 16s, including the years they went to the Elite Eight, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he's now coaching in the Utah Jazz, in the NBA, but for their minor league team called the Salt Lake City Stars, their G League team.
That's awesome. Yeah,
so
he's
and
you have 2 other kids now too, right?
Yeah. So, the next in line, my other stepdaughter, Helene Humber Fox, she's in computer programming and stuff like that. She lives over here in the Pasadena area. And then I have what I call my second batch, which were 20 years after the first batch, but that's quite a split, So. But Joshua Fox, he's just starting over at UC Irvine, and then my daughter Jenna Fox, she is applying to be a certified nursing assistant. She just finished her nursing education, so they're all doing great. And when I get the chance to bring them back to Tucson with me, I do.
Yeah, that's awesome, Niels. That's awesome. We're talking to Niels Fox in the Huddle. Is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors. serving you for over 30 years, Kaiser Garage Doors. And Gates. I was like, all right. And Neil, so tell us what your transition was from you go to JUCO and then you come to the U of A. How was that transition for you as a JUCO player?
Well, for me, Glenn, it was really important to have gone to JUCO because the funny thing, and you might know this, in high school, I wasn't even a full-time starter till my senior year. I barely made honors, like all league honorable mention, not first team all league, which is the highest honor, not second team all league, just all league honorable mention. So I had a lot of developing and maturing and things like that to do. So I first went to a junior college in Northern California called Solano Community College because one of my high school coaches went there to become head coach. On a side note, by the way, that former high school coach's name is Ed Sowach, super positive influence on my life. He was a high school teammate with Tom Flores, who took the Raiders to 2 Super Bowls. Yeah.
Tom Flores was the coach when I was with the Raiders.
He was a high school teammate and of my former coach, Ed Sowach. Anyway, but after that college, Solano Community College, they did not get a lot of people that moved on with a scholarship to a major university. So I transferred junior colleges to Pasadena City College. And Pasadena City College, Glenn, they were loaded. I mean, we were top 10 nationally. And so there you're playing against other freshmen and sophomores in college who would be at 4-year universities if there wasn't a grade thing or just a maturity thing, which was my deal. And in fact, of the teams I played on, I include the Cowboys. I was only there for 4 months, but and I played in 3 preseason games. But the 2 best natural athletes that I was ever teammates with were Randy White, the Hall of Fame Dallas Cowboys. But then also one of my Pasadena City College teammates, his name's Lynn Williams. He was Saber in the American Gladiators.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you remember Saber?
Yeah.
So and I still keep in touch with him. In fact, us Pasadena City College alumni, we get together every few months. But where I'm going, that was the kind of talent we had. We were loaded, and it really prepared me greatly because if I would have came to the U of A as an 18-year-old senior or even a very young 19-year-old, I would have probably been overwhelmed and I probably would have ran into problems and, who knows what would have happened.
Yeah, absolutely. It's important, your transition from JC to, when I came here, I was like, man, there's a lot of good guys here. I mean, before when you're in your JUCO, you have a couple of guys that are good, but then you come here, there's just a ton of guys that are good. You're going against Ricky Hundley, Joe Drake, and those guys. Those were christening times. They christened you right away to be in Division I playing football. So Niels, how is your experiences at the University of Arizona? How's those things have contributed to what your current position in life is now? Coming back, we work with an alumni. How does that help you in your life now?
Yeah, boy, I tell you, it helps me on just literally a daily basis. Oh my gosh, some of the biggest things I learned at U of A is about family, what a family behaves like. By the way, I love my family, by that I mean mom, dad, and brother, but kind of some mental health issues and things like that. It wasn't as strong a family as maybe some had, and maybe a stronger family than others had, but anyway, so no, my gosh, at U of A, I learned about family. I learned about loving people, meaning like brothers and sisters, and it's just absolutely amazing. I mean, the career I'm in right now, and it's a great career, that happened to me because the U of A, and the friends I have, like yourself and Charlie and Kurt, you name it, that happened because the U of A. And so it just, every single day there's a little reminder. I had kind of a funny thing happen last week that you'll get a kick out of. Every once in a while, I'll just Google my own name in football. And by the way, sometimes there's pictures and stuff that comes up like mementos that I want and that I didn't know were out there online. Well, someone, and I don't know who, was selling one of my U of A football cards on eBay for $3.12.
The value deals.
Well, the thing is, like, first of all, why $3.12? Why not just throw the thing in the trash? and then where did they come up with that number? And then the funny thing was, someone had actually bought it, for the $3.12. I guess actually the shipping was $2.99, so I get to say it was $6.11 total cost instead of $3.12. But oh no, I'll tell you, man, every week, if not every day, there's a gift from my time at the U of A, like that gift of seeing that goofy thing happening on eBay.
Yeah.
So,
Niels Fox is our guest.
No,
Niels Fox is our guest in the huddle with Howell, brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Kaiser, with over 30 years of serving Southern Arizona. Niels, so tell me, what do you think, as you watch our games and stuff and everything, what do you think is the important aspects of skills that you have to have now to be a center in playing football in the Big 12, in Division I football?
Yeah, and by the way, isn't that interesting? You and I would have said Pac-10, right? Now we say Big 12. Yeah, so that's kind of been an interesting change, a neat change. No, one of the big skill differences, Glenn, that I see in the athletes nowadays, there's a bunch of differences, but one of them is there is such an emphasis on developing skills and repetitions of those skills that are specific to the actual position they are playing. It seems like there's way more of that now than there was when we were around. And I think what's happening too, I'm pretty sure it's science backed up that the more repetitions you have of your skill sets, even if it gets boring to you, it just, at practice, you're developing that muscle memory.
Yeah, we were doing a lot of pushing around,
Right.
We're just moving just like we were road graders,
Right, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
It wasn't as much, just don't think it was as much as the skill, the hand placement and all that other stuff.
Yep.
Those are the things that, because, Niels, you're 6'4", 6'4.5", and centers now, or they're not that big. They're not that tall. They're probably like 6'2", 6'3". They're not as tall as you were, because you were pretty tall.
Yeah, I think the big thing, the counter thing too, is they're realizing how important weight is. And, it's funny, Glenn, back in the mid 80s, I was, 250, 260, maybe pound center. Man, that would be a tight end or a fullback now.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Because I remember the times that we were always trying to gain weight. We would just eat anything at all, as much as we could, So that was important. So
yeah, it was. Yeah, and these guys nowadays, they're in the range of 300 pounds, if not heavier, but with all the footwork drills and the drills developing skills that they do, I'm amazed at the skill levels of these athletes. I really am. And it's also fair to say it's a less physical game than it was back when we played. And some people see that as, oh gosh, our generation being tougher or whatever. I don't necessarily agree or disagree with that. Just now they have skills. And by the way, the passing plays, which are less physical, a pass block is less physical than a run block. Those are more exciting plays. They just are.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think college football is better than ever, and the ratings and the popularity and everything like that show it.
Absolutely. Well, Niels, I appreciate you coming in. Our thanks to Wildcat football alum Niels Fox for joining us in the huddle with Hal. Niels, I love you, brother, and
love you too, man.
give my best to your family, and we hope to see you soon. Are you coming back for Alumni Weekend or for one of the games? Homecoming?
Yeah, I'm coming back from homecoming and looking forward to seeing everybody, and especially you, Glenn.
Right
looking
on,
forward
brother.
to seeing everyone out there, though.
All right. We'll see you. Thanks a lot for coming in.
Hey, let's get a win today, Cats, huh?
All right. Bear down.
You too, bear down, Nick. Take care.
That's In the Huddle with Howell. In the Huddle with Glenn Howell is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Kaiser, with over 30 years of serving Southern Arizona.
Step into a world where rewards never end. Welcome to Club Soul at Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun. Every moment brings excitement. Every visit unlocks exclusive perks, free play, dining discounts, and more. From high-stakes action to luxurious experiences, your rewards grow with every play. Join today for endless benefits and unforgettable moments. Club Soul. Play more, earn more, experience more. Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun. Enterprise of the Bosco Yaqui Tribe.
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
Hey, it's Mrs. HVAC. If you're anything like me, a mom, a wife, and maybe a little bit crazy about the air I breathe and the water I drink, then listen up. Picture Rock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing has you in mind with our home wellness check. That's 3 visits a year to make sure your AC is happy, your plumbing isn't plotting against you, and your water isn't secretly weird. We'll even test your water quality because you deserve spa water, not swamp vibes. Let's keep your home sane, even if you're not. Call us today or book online at picturerockscooling.com.
Looking for top-notch lumber and framing? Johnson Manley Lumber has been your trusted expert since 1970, specializing in both residential and commercial projects. Our experienced teams, cutting-edge technology, and reliable supply chain ensure your framing is on time and on budget every time. We're proud to be employee-owned and community-rooted in Tucson. Learn more at johnsonmanley.net. Proud supporter of the University of Arizona radio broadcast. Go Wildcats.
Up your game in a new Buick or GMC from Royal Buick GMC. At Royal, we always deliver a quality vehicle at a great price. Score a great deal with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff and our transparent online pricing. Plus, Royal offers a 72-hour buyback guarantee. Score big at Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. See dealer for details. Royal Buick GMC in the Tucson Auto Mall or royaltucson.com.
Graduating from high school, I realized that I didn't have all the tools I needed to help me in the next chapter of my life. The Earn to Learn program has helped me pursue my passion for early childhood education with confidence, and the financial education supported by Hughes Federal Credit Union has been invaluable to prepare me for my university career and the world beyond.
Find out how Hughes and Earn to Learn join forces to support student success at hughesfcu.org/earn-to-learn. Insured by NCUA. Certain restrictions apply.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
JT Auto, where their customers are family. Stop by their newest East Side location, conveniently located at 6947 East 22nd, just west of Cole. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guarantee, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where their customers are family. 372-7704. That's 372-7704. Or JTAutoAZ.com.
What you're driving right now may be worth more than you think, and O'Reilly Chevrolet wants to buy it. No matter the make or model, we'll pay top dollar today or trade up to a top quality pre-owned vehicle from our huge selection of used cars, trucks, and SUVs. We're on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or visit O'Reilly.com. It's pretty easy. We'll simply pay you more for what you're driving than anybody else. O'Reilly Used Cars, giving you more since 1924.
O'Reilly
Chevrolet.
Wildcats Nation, are you ready?
Fafita, gun, takes the snap, firing, corner of the end zone. Cop, touchdown, Arizona.
That's a strike by Noah Fafita.
Short drop, looking right. Here comes the pressure. They sack him, get him to the ground. Oh, perfect timing for the Wildcats. Kick is up and it's blocked. Wildcats block it and they pick it up. And I don't think anybody's going to catch him. And it's picked off. Trayton Stukes throws to the back of the end zone. And it's caught. Samuelson, touchdown, Arizona.
Bear down, Cats. Let's go. Our Window Depot coverage of UA football continues with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We are counting down to kickoff for Arizona football. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Takes the snap, back looking left. Still looking left, firing left, and that is intercepted. Picked off by the Wildcats at the 40-yard line, and they've got the football. Trayton Stukes just swiped it away from the receiver. High snap goes over his head. It picks up the ball, rolls to the right now. Then he'll throw it downfield, and it's intercepted. Cats will take it over at their own 27. Second pick of the night for the Arizona defense.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, well into hour number 2 of our show, we'll have our defensive scouting report. That's brought to you by Rocking K, master plan community designed by nature. Also, we'll go inside the captain's corner. Brandon Sanders on the road with the team down in Houston. Saw they had a big alumni get-together last night with the Houston Cats, so we'll find out all about that. Can we beat the book? Arizona favorite in this game. That's brought to you by Casino del Sol. Arizona favored by 1.5 over under today, 47.5. Who will be that Houston Cougar that gets underneath the skin of the Wildcats? Your pest of the game, brought to you by Essential Pest Control. What is going on with Danny Gonzalez's defense?
Let's look at the Wildcats' defensive scouting report for today's game.
Short drop, looking right. Here comes the pressure. They sack him. Oh, perfect timing for the Wildcats. They needed that.
Today's defensive scouting report is brought to you by Rocking K. Rocking K, Tucson's premier master planned community. This is Arizona football on Wildcats Radio 1290.
2 interceptions last weekend to add to the total for your Arizona Wildcats. You heard him, Trayton Stukes, Dalton Johnson. Let's hear from Trayton Stukes. We are at the midway point of the season. 6 games in, Arizona is 4-2. How does Trayton feel about the defense at the midway point?
I know, we've had some good games. We've had some games where we gave up more yards than we wanted to. And at the end of the day for us, it's holding the other team to 1 less point than we score. So I think we've shown flashes that we can be a dominant defense, and we just need to keep executing at a high level to get there.
Trayton Stukes, one of 2 Wildcats on the defensive side that has a pair of interceptions, joining Javian Cole. It had been a while for Dalton Johnson since his first interception back in 2023. He was glad to get number 2.
I felt great. Obviously, as a DB, that's what you want is the picks. Picks pay the big bucks. But I was excited. I seen the ball go behind and see him come wide open, and so I figured he was going to throw it there, and there it was. So, yeah, it's been a while. So it's something I've been trying to work on is hunt the ball. So hopefully this is the first, and we're going to continue.
And you guys have more picks already this year than you've had all of last year. So what has been key just in terms of you guys becoming more ball hawks?
Yeah, I think, I would say maybe it's Coach G's defense. We're a little bit more spaced out, and, as well as what we're practicing, our ball drills, and, you practice how you play, so we're able to get our eyes more on the quarterback and, try and really read that. And I feel like the more experience, that me, Jen, and Stukes have, we're able to read 1-step, 3-step, and, kind of get a jump on where the quarterback's going.
Arizona's defense currently ranks among the top 25 units in the nation. In total defense, the Cats are 15th. Team passing efficiency defense, 1st in the country. Turnovers gained, 5th. Interceptions, 6th. Tackles for loss, 8th. Passing yards allowed, 10th. First downs allowed, 15th. That is a vast improvement, guys, from last season.
Man, I remember last year, we're looking at all those numbers. They were all double digits, so we got some single digits in there. And in the Big 12, you look at all those things. You got a couple ones in there. I like that. I like that we've improved on our defense. I think that it seems like these guys know what the defense is. Before it was like kind of confusion a little bit. I think they're getting comfortable. And then having Stukes and those guys back, and and Genesis and all those guys playing, and the experience of that defense, I think it really helps out a lot.
Yeah, and I think bigger than anything, you got guys that have bought in. You got guys that are not questioning the defense, not questioning the head coach. I mean, it doesn't feel like it's two squads.
Yeah.
You got one team, you got one heartbeat, and all these guys are all playing violently and physical and getting to the football.
You look at this defense, 13 turnovers or takeaways already this season. They had 16 all of last season in 12 games. They have 13 so far takeaways in 6 games. You heard from Dalton Johnson, who had an interception, but Dalton is also very important to the run game in Danny Gonzalez's scheme. He talked about that this week.
What we do around here and how we plus one on the run, we use our middle safety to come down there and fit the run every single time. So Genesis Smith is essentially our middle linebacker. Brian Urlacher was our middle linebacker in New Mexico. He led the nation with 178 tackles, okay? So in this defense, you're going to have a safety. Now, I spent from the time that Brent told me that I was going to be the coordinator here, we have 2 guys between Dalton and Jen who I felt could be middle linebacker types. And we've done some stuff schematically that they don't know which middle safety or which deep safety. It gives you almost have a cover 2 look. Which middle safety is going to come down and be the middle linebacker between Dalton and Jen, and we can flip it by call, we can flip it by formation, we can flip it by coverage. And if you look at statistically, our 2 leading tacklers are our 2 middle linebackers, Dalton Johnson, Genesis Smith. Max Harris and Tay Brown are the next 2 who are the next closest to the ball. And then you've got Deshaun McKnight and Tia Savea who are right there behind them. So our scheme is designed for a guy because we have a guy like Dalton Johnson who can play in the deep middle and play in the deep half, and Genesis Smith, who's probably the best post safety in the country. But they can come down and be a linebacker 7 yards and make the majority of the tackles because the center cannot account for a guy that's 12 yards deep in the middle of the field in the run count. Impossible. And so the design of that and how we were able to do that, and I spent a ton of time between December and spring and trying to figure out how can we get those guys to where they have no idea who it is, because now it's really tricky. They're having to account for 2 different guys that might be the middle linebacker and where they're coming from. So Dalton Johnson is super special because he can be that piece. You can't do that with a ton of safety.
Yeah, and it's an interesting concept, but to me, and I've said this since the fall. To me, the inside run is the weakness of this defense because you really don't have a true middle linebacker in the middle of this whole thing. Now, that could change because we've seen the emergence of Riley Wilson over the course of the last few weeks as he has gotten healthy and gotten back up to speed. I think he could be that guy in the middle of this defense, but having safeties come down to try to make that type of impact in the run game can be problematic at times.
Yeah, it could be problematic. When I heard him say that Brian Urlacher was the guy, and he ended up being a great pro. But we played against him here at New Mexico in that offense, and me and Trung ran all through those guys because we knew they had so many DBs on the field, and we knew that the basically the safety was their leading tackler. And anytime we see that, we feel like that there's a lot of yards to be gained in between the line of scrimmage and the safety, right? So we really attacked that back then. And I think, again, that is the weakness when you're playing against a power offense and a big back. To have your safety coming down, trying to make that tackle consistently could be a problem. Now, the good thing is, Johnson, great tackler, big kid, more of a linebacker really in style of play. Yeah. So can totally understand that. And you're having him free where he can see things and come down and make a play. When it's working well for us, it looks great. But when it isn't, it seems to, really hurt us.
Yeah, and coming down that far, you got to be you gotta like collision. You gotta like collision because you're coming downhill because that's not downhill. That's like San Francisco, downhill. Right. That's like you got to come down because that's 12 yards. You coming flying through there, and you got to hit it back. That's pretty pretty tough. And you, like you said, making those tackles is going to be pretty difficult. But, if we get somebody in there like Riley in there that can play, it's closer to the line of scrimmage, I think that would be, and I hope that they would look at that film and understand that they have to do something like that.
But let's roll up now. Let's not slight my guy Max Harris now.
Yeah.
That's our middle linebacker. But I ain't gonna lie,
He's more of a he's a defensive back built guy.
100%. I was just gonna say that when I saw him. That's the first thing I saw. I was like, whoa, he's definitely not big as listed.
Yeah,
that he is listed.
And that's one of the things Glenn and I talked about earlier in the week, Kelvin. Is sometimes what I'm seeing is Tay and Max get washed up by those big linemen at times in this defense.
Yeah. No, it definitely happens, and that's more so on the defensive line because their job is to keep the linebackers off of the running. I mean, keep the offensive linemen off of the running back. Right. So, and
they got to tie them up.
And usually in this defense, and even in the back in the swarm defense, the linebackers' job was just to run and get to the ball, not necessarily to beat linemen. So anytime the linemen are getting off to our linebackers, that's more of a D lineman, situation.
All right, we mentioned Riley Wilson. Last time on the road, he came up big for this defense.
Back to throw with time, waiting, and he's sacked. Waited too long, and the Wildcats were right there. Riley Wilson, they call him Hollywood, the transfer out of Montana with a huge sack. Back play fake, back to throw. Here comes the rush, and they sack him.
It's Riley Wilson again. He just knows how to get to the quarterback. He finds ways to get there.
Riley Wilson, injured in camp, went through some things mentally to try to get back on the field, but back and making an impact.
Just some mental stuff that I was dealing with. It was difficult, but, I'm a firm believer in my faith in God, and whenever you're hurt, you get to see the game from a different perspective. He taught me a lot about patience and just staying patient throughout the process of seeing the game from the sideline. You get to learn a lot. You get to learn about schematics, different parts of the game, schematically through the secondary, schematically about front. So yeah, it was definitely hard, but I grew a lot from it and my faith in God and just trusting the process.
He's already, in just 4 games, he's already 6th on the team in a total tackles. Danny Gonzalez has said from the get-go, Riley Wilson is that dude.
When a guy goes into the game, there's one version, and it's like, OS, this guy's in the game. Or is it, OS, yeah, this guy's in the game. Well, it was the second version that Riley got, okay? Because you can be like, oh, God, no, that guy? Like, sometimes it is that. That guy's not prepared. Your teammates don't have confidence. Well, they were ready for Riley to see the field.
Yeah, and we go back to what we were talking about in the first in the first segment, guys. When Willie Fritz was talking about microwaving for 2 minutes instead of 40 minutes. Man, it really hit me this week. I was starting to look because we're really starting now to get to know some of these kids, like Riley Wilson, like Michael Dansby, like Javion Cole, and a lot of these guys are not going to be here after this season. It kind of stinks because it's like, man, Riley Wilson's the kind of player you could fall in love with on that defensive side of the ball, but you got 6 games left with him.
Yeah, that's the portal. I'm telling you, the portal. You can't, like I always, when that portal started, I always said, can't fall in love too fast. I'm telling you, because they're gonna break your heart, because that's what happens. The guys get in here, we love them, they leave.
And I'll say this, who heart gets broke even worse? The team that they left.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
So, it sucks to have the guys for 1 year. But I used to always say this, it's a lot of guys only have 1 good year, and they've been here 5 years.
Yeah.
So a lot of guys don't have any
years.
Good years.
Yes.
And they've been here 5 years. So a guy could come and have 1 great season and have his name etched in there. Yes, we would love him to be here more, longer, so you can get to know the different characters and the different people and everything like that. But at the end of the day, it's about what you do with your opportunity. And guys like this will be remembered because they're making the most of their opportunities.
And you wonder how is this going to happen in college football now? Are only the elite teams going to be able to develop guys for 3 to 4 years? Because they're going to still win. All the other teams are not going to be winning, and they got to bring the guys in there to start winning because they're leaving, and then their best guys are going to the elite teams. So it's difficult for a coach now, man. You're recruiting a guy every single day.
Absolutely.
It's just sad. It's sad.
It is that.
I don't think it's sad, though, Glenn.
Yeah.
Me personally, I feel like that's your job.
Yeah.
That's your job. I mean, even back in the day, I felt like that was your job. You had to try to get. Now, I felt like they used development as a reason to keep their job, right? But really, bro, you got to get them in there. You got to already have the different levels developed so you can win now. Usually, college has been a senior-led game where you have.
I think it's 2 years. You should be playing by your freshman sophomore year.
Well, you should be, but
now
redshirt,
yeah.
But now that's tough because the guys are so much older now, right? So it's hard for younger guys to get on the field because you're dealing with a 24, 25-year-old veteran that understands roles. So and as a coach, who you gonna pick? A 19-year-old or a 24-year-old with
absolutely.
3 or 4 tours of duty?
Yeah.
All right, that's Danny Gonzalez's defense heading into Houston.
And that's a look at the Wildcats defensive scouting report for today's game. Today's defensive scouting report is brought to you by Rocking K. Rocking K, Tucson's premier master planned community. This is Arizona football on Wildcats Radio 1290. Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona football is getting you closer to kickoff. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 2 of the pregame show is brought to you by Acclaimed Drain and Plumbing Solutions, Bear Down Roofing, Dorado Rock, Essential Pest Control, Goodfellas AC, Hughes Federal Credit Union, Johnson Manley Company, JT Auto, Lexus of Tucson, Mr. Rooter, Recon Auto Detail, Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Rocking K, a master plan community designed by nature. And by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed. Life well lived.
Uh-oh, another plumbing disaster. Don't panic. Call the pros at Acclaimed Drain and Plumbing Solutions. From clogged drains to full-blown repipe repairs, our expert team is fast, getting repipes done in one day. Reliable, professional, and always ready 24/7. When water won't behave, Acclaimed saves the day. Call 520-200-1089 or visit acclaimed-drain.com. Acclaimed Drain and Plumbing Solutions. Trusted, local, acclaimed.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
You mean they don't use yesterday's newspaper?
No, they use the latest in technology and innovation to eliminate bugs, bees, termites, weeds, and more.
So no as seen on TV salt guns?
Nope, only solutions that target insect biology, using chemistry to help protect the environment, people, and their pets.
You are so smart.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Wow, this is bad.
Oh no, how bad? When will my AC be fixed?
You know, I don't know. It's your flux capacitor. They don't make them anymore. Special order. Couple grand easy.
Oh my God, what?
Don't get air conned into paying for shoddy service and stuff you don't need. Put Goodfellas on the job. Goodfellas AC will repair or install your AC the right way the first time. You'll know up front exactly what it'll cost and how long it'll take. No surprises and free second opinions. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas.
Every day is a balancing act, with work, family, goals, all asking for more. It helps to have tools that meet you at every step and a team that will always be by your side. We're ICCU, We're a credit union that has been helping members achieve financial success since 1940. In fact, we put member success first, one by one, year after year, for 85 years and counting. Now, we're here for you, Tucson. Join us, ICCU.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic is pleased to announce that Access Health Plans now cover chiropractic care. A referral by your PCP is required. For more information, go to firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care. A proud U of A radio sponsor.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
This is Ken Goodrich with Gettle. We over-prepared for the summer rush. Now our warehouse is overflowing with brand new AC units. So here's the deal. Because we've got the gear and the time, buy a new air conditioning system before the end of the season, and we'll include a whole home Gettle air purification system at no cost to you. Now that's a breath of fresh air. No catch, no pressure. Just the best deal we've offered all year. Call Gettle. That's GOETTL. We'll keep you cool, but it's hard to spell.
KCUV Tucson, a Cumulus Media station. The Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com.
Our Window Depot coverage of UA football continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the tight end Glenn Howell, and the captain Calvin Efon.
Two receivers wide right, bunch set to the left. Fafita empty set, quick snap, fires right, caught, first down, inside the 45, down to the 43. Hudson having a nice start to the game here, makes the catch, and Arizona keeps the drive alive. Fafita will take the snap, back to throw, has some time, waits, fires for the corner of the end zone. Hudson there, makes the catch, touchdown, Arizona!
Noah Fafita on a corner route, drops it right into the bucket in the corner of the end zone. Arizona gets back in the game.
Fafita back, now rolling to the right, has some time, throws downfield, caught, first down to the 45, Chris Hudson.
That's a great job of Noah Fafita, rolling away from pressure and just throwing a laser to Chris Hudson on a comeback route.
Chris Hudson, his 8th catch of the night.
Chris Hudson from Compton, California, 20 catches, 262 yards on the season, second on the team in both of those categories behind Javen Watley. Had a big ball game on Saturday in the loss to BYU, his first huge ball game of the season in terms of receiving, first 100-yard game for the Arizona Wildcats. He had 9 catches for 106 yards. Chris Hudson. And, he started playing, I mentioned from Compton, started playing football at a very young age.
Football was a big deal in my family. When I was at a very young age, I want to say around like 10 years old, man, when I really started playing when I start realizing that my dad is actually spending time out his day out of work to take me to practice, and that's why I'm like, okay, I got to take this serious. So my uncle went to West Virginia, University of West Virginia, and played football. I had a chance to go to the league, but ended up getting hurt. So, I kind of envisioned myself being in that spot and having a chance to change my family life and everything, coming from a city where it's not easy to make it out. There's a lot of struggles, but you got to find a way, and that's what I did, and that's what I'm gonna continue trying to do, find a way to get my family to a better spot. And it's kind of hard going up in Compton, but it's hard everywhere, so you got to keep it pushing.
Another one of those guys, love him quickly because he's only here for one season. The redshirt senior on his third stop in college football at the Division I level, having played at Oregon and Washington State. All right, I had a chance to talk this week with the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats.
For all the questions that you need answered, it's DK with BB. Our David Kelly asks Brent Brennan the questions, and you get the answers. DK with BB is sponsored by Hughes Federal Credit Union. Hughes Federal Credit Union. We take you further.
All right, I mentioned we heard from Seth Dagey earlier, and there were some questions about the inefficiency that the Wildcats had in the red zone in the loss to BYU. Brent Brennan asked after 6 games how he feels about one Seth Deggy as his offensive coordinator.
Absolutely. I think Coach Deggy has been an awesome addition to our program. His leadership, his play calling, his organization. I understand everyone's upset about Saturday night. I also know that we had 400 yards of offense and scored 27 points against the 8th-ranked defense in the country that had been previously given up 12. You know what I mean? So I believe in it, and I believe in his play calling, and I think we're just going to continue to get better. We're in the first year of this thing, right? And it's going to keep getting better as we continue to progress.
Brent, after the game, you talked about, in terms of the 4th down calls, you talked about feel and analytics. What's the analytics piece of that? Is that you guys have your own specific analytics that you come up with, or is that just like maybe the general analytics that most coaches use?
So we work with a company that just goes deep into the math of all that stuff, and the analytics thing is an interesting thing. I think it's a good tool. It's not something that we would live and die with every single day. Some people do, right? And if it works, everyone's like, oh, the analytics are so great. And if it doesn't, everyone's like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? So there's so many moments in every football game that come down to the backside of it is like whether it worked or not. Whether you trusted your gut, you trusted a play call, you trusted a player, or you trusted the analytics. And if it works, you're like, oh, thank God they put the ball in his hand. If it works, oh, thank God they trusted the analytics, whatever it was. If it doesn't work, it's like, oh, well, why'd they do that? So I think there's always part of that with football games, and that's fine. That's, we understand that. But we feel good about our decision-making about how we're going about those situations in game.
Coach, I asked you last week just about the running back rotation now that you've got all 3 of those guys healthy. This weekend against BYU, Quincy got a little bit more run than the other 2. How much of that is scheme, depending on who might get more plays week to week in that room?
Yeah, so that rotation ends up being a little bit also just like how much pounding somebody's taking. So that's like almost like, hey, let's get the next guy in there. The great thing is that you need multiple running backs that can really do the job and make plays. And all 3 of those guys have demonstrated that they can. Right? So that part's exciting for us because it is important to have guys that are fresh in the game. Right? And then also the amount of pounding that position takes, whether it's from carrying the football or it's in pass protection. Right? Those guys take a lot of shots. And so you want to make sure that you have as many, those guys are as fresh as they can be. And so sometimes that's in the middle of a drive. You know what I mean? And we tell those players to tell us when you need to take out, because we don't want the player to make the selfish decision to stay in the game if he's not at his best, right? If he's just got the wind knocked out of him, or if he's gassed from the previous 8 plays. Let's give somebody else in there and let them help us do the job.
And those are the questions that you needed answered. DK with BB is sponsored by Hughes Federal Credit Union. Hughes Federal Credit Union. We take you further.
Spooky noises coming from your air conditioning system? Then treat yourself to the Right Way $59 Super Tune-Up and shake off the cobwebs from your AC. It's a 42-point inspection designed to maximize your AC unit's efficiency and lifespan with the most comprehensive tune-up in the industry. We'll even remove any built-up dirt, grime, and dust, and do a free carbon monoxide test. Just call Right Way, Southern Arizona's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical company today at 520-640-HOME. Right Way's $59 Super Tune-Up, a scary good deal.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rockin' K. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Every day is a balancing act, with work, family, goals, all asking for more. It helps to have tools that meet you at every step and a team that will always be by your side. We're ICCU. We're a credit union that has been helping members achieve financial success since 1940. In fact, we put member success first, one by one, year after year, for 85 years and counting. Now, we're here for you, Tucson. Join us, ICCU.
Hey, you! We've got something new in the store.
Well, not really in store. It's in your home, in your office, where you play, wherever you are.
My point, son. We're here. You're there.
Wherever that is.
Tucson Appliance Company is your appliance concierge.
Tell us what you want. We will find it and send you photos, texts, emails, even FaceTime you the appliance. Buy it and we will deliver it. We're your personal appliance shopper.
Only at Tucson Appliance, where our low price is your priority.
Hi, I'm Lisa Chastain. No one should go hungry, especially at Thanksgiving. That's why Gospel Rescue Mission is hosting our annual Thanksgiving Blessings event. Join us on Wednesday, November 26th for a home-cooked Thanksgiving meal. Also, clothing, haircuts, additional resources, and life-changing opportunities. Celebrate the holidays with us, because Thanksgiving is better when we share it together. Visit grmtucson.com to learn more.
What you're driving right now may be worth more than you think, and O'Reilly Chevrolet wants to buy it. No matter the make or model, we'll pay top dollar today or trade up to a top quality pre-owned vehicle from our huge selection of used cars, trucks, and SUVs. We're on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or visit O'Reilly.com. It's pretty easy. We'll simply pay you more for what you're driving than anybody else. O'Reilly Used Cars, giving you more since 1924.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Tucson sun beating down feels like an oven in your car, right? With our premium window tint, you'll stay cool, comfortable, and protected.
Finally, no more burning seats and squinting eyes. Driving feels amazing again.
It's not just tint. It's comfort, style, and relief from Arizona heat. Recon Auto Detailing, Ceramic Pro West, Tucson, where cool rides start.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
You mean they don't use yesterday's newspaper?
No, they use the latest in technology and innovation to eliminate bugs, bees, termites, weeds, and more.
So no as seen on TV salt guns?
Nope, only solutions that target insect biology, using chemistry to help protect the environment, people, and their pets.
You are so smart.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
Our Window Depot coverage of UA football continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the tight end, Glenn Howell, and the captain, Calvin Efon. Gather up, Wildcats fans. It's time to hear from our captain. It's time for our pregame speech. Captain's Corner is brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier, since 1960, here to get you there. And now, here is the captain, Calvin Efon.
Welcome into this week's edition of the Captain's Corner, presented by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. I'm Kelvin Efon. Our guest today is Brandon Sanders, captain from the class of 1995 here at the U of A. Brandon, thanks for coming on, man. What you been up to, bro?
Oh, man, it's been good. We actually on the bus heading over to the stadium right now. Had a great night with about 20-25 alum. It's been great.
Man, so with the 25 alums, so tell me a little bit more about that. I mean, you guys went down to Houston. Y'all invited some of the Houston alumni. Tell me some of the guys that ended up showing up.
Yeah, we had Frank Middleton, Blake Custer, who was a linebacker in the late 80s. We also had, Clarence Farmer was there. It was Glenn Parker. It was a number of guys, man. Some that just came out from Tucson, a lot of guys from around the areas of Texas, man. It was a beautiful thing seeing all those alum from the 80s, 90s, 2000, 2010. It was good.
Yeah, man, for me, that was beautiful to see, being a Texas guy. If I was home living in Dallas, man, I would have shot down there too, just to be around the guys and have a chance to see my Wildcats play in Texas. That's always a great thing. And as I was telling guys the other day, I also think it's a great recruiting tool to be able to play in Houston, and where you can get, all the Houston kids that don't want to stay in Texas, possibly to take a look at Arizona and consider that as one of the schools possibly that they can go to out of the state.
Yeah, Coach Efon, let me tell you, there was a number of families in the hotel lobby last night for all our guys that are from the Texas area, man. It was so much love. We had donor event too. Desiree Reed-Francois, our athletic director, had it's just been a great group so far being down here. Now it's time to make sure our guys go win this game, right?
Yeah, that's what the most important thing is. You know, I was just laughing right there to myself when you called me Coach E-Fun, and most people don't know that we worked together at, well, for the people that don't know, we worked together at Pueblo. I guess I worked for you. You was the athletic director over there with Frank Rollenheiser over at Pueblo, and we worked together with her for some years, man, and I have to say, man, I enjoyed myself and working up under you in them years.
Yeah, I just know what you do, not just for Pueblo, but just for the community, man. With AAU basketball, football, anything, man. You're expanding, man. You are a captain.
Yes, sir. Well, speaking of captain, you were a multi-year captain. How is that right? And how did that come about?
Oh goodness, man. You know, Coach told me to tell the story that as a redshirt freshman, I had some guys vote me in as a captain. I was happy just being a soldier that young, even though it was supposed to be seniors. But I like to lead by example. And then my last 2 years, for sure, I was a captain. Man, I hated to be the captain that had to go out to the coin toss because I feel like a gladiator. Man, gladiators don't go shake hands before they just go out there, right? But definitely the point of just leading by example and making sure our guys were ready, man. And I care about our team more than I do myself sometimes. So that was the big thing for me.
Yes, sir. So tell the people more about, what you do. I hear all the police lights with the police escort going on around there. I remember them times, boy. I know everybody in the bus right now got their headphones on, everybody quiet, everybody focused, thinking about what they got to do, man. I just remember those times sitting on that bus, man. So I'm hearing those police sirens, and it's just bringing back memories, man.
Yeah, it's good, man. You see the guys, like you said, they do got their headphones on. I got the coaches up in front of me, man. Everybody's like reading over their scout reports. So it's our guys are locked in, and I think that's the biggest thing when you're sitting here and you ain't got to wait for traffic. It's just, man, down to business. That's what I love about it. It's just down to business. Let's get to the stadium. Let's rock.
Man, all right. Tell us more about what your position is at the U of A and exactly what you do.
My title is Coordinator of Alumni High School Relations. So that's since I was an AD and high school coach. I know a lot of coaches in the state of Arizona. And then, of course, where you're from, along with playing in the NFL, I got connections with a lot of guys. So it falls a little bit under recruiting. And then the alumni part kind of falls a little bit working with the A Club letter winners. And in our building falls a little bit under operations. So I run a lot of our summer camps. Try to put together things for our homecoming, spring game, and everything else to gather a bunch of guys like last night, get guys here and get guys connected. I think over the last 20, 25 years or so, a lot of guys didn't feel really connected. And it's trying to bridge those gaps and bring guys back so that they can know that, like you say, even in recruiting, it is big when once you're finished playing here, we're still here for you.
Big facts. Brandon Sanders is our guest in the Captain's Corner, brought to you by Jack Farrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Farrier since 1960, here to get you there. Brandon, who recruited you here? I think a lot of people see your size, your stature, and probably didn't understand what level of a Division I player that you would be. So tell me who recruited you here. Who's that genius?
Man, so I would say Coach Larry McDuff, our defensive coordinator, looked over San Diego, and then of course Coach Aquina. But a little tid fact is the first guy who recruited me was Jeff Hammersmith. Coach Hammersmith was playing here so I come from Helix High School. Everybody knows Helix High School for Reggie Bush, Alex Smith. But we had three other safeties in the 80s that played here. So you had Alan Durden, who's on the Ring of Honor. The great Chuck Cecil, of course, was right after him. And then Jeff Hammersmith was playing in high school when I was still in high school. So a lot of people recruited me as a corner. And that's where like it looked like, okay, we're not sure if you're going to be a safety. So a lot of the places that recruited me as corner told me I couldn't get an opportunity to play safety. And Coach Aquina was like, hey, look, I'll give you an opportunity. I'll give you a chance to play safety. And if it doesn't work, just go be a corner and we're good to go. So all I wanted was that opportunity because I'm a hitter. And so he was like, man, we can see if it can translate up here and give you a chance.
Man, so how was it playing for Coach for Coach Tomey at the U of A, man? We all have our great stories. Tell me, how was it playing for him, and tell me a story that you can remember that, make you think about Coach Tomey.
Oh, man. So it's been great with playing for Coach Tomey, because he's a people person, and he's all about, developing a person. And then he's a DB coach by trade. I know he's a head coach. So my first redshirt year, we changed Coach Aquino over to offense. And I remember our spring, Coach Tomey was literally hovering over us for DB play. And I'm talking about technique and everything else. So I think just playing for him, knowing that he cared about you, whether you made plays, didn't make plays, whether you could do something for him on the field or off the field, it didn't matter, man. When he loves you, and he lets you know. And he taught us how to love each other, in general. And then one of the stories, I would say it was after playing, I think my second to last year or so at Pueblo, one of our teammates, Warner Smith, who's a Southern Arizona kid, he was having a hard time with ALS. He was going to pass away. So that whole season, Coach Tomey had me pick him up every week, and we drove up and spent time with Warner every week during the football season. It didn't matter. So it was like on Tuesday or Thursday, we just go. And I missed some practice, but me and Coach Tomey, we have great stories to tell of just, man, how he handled all the crazy guys that were on that Desert Swarm team and everything else. So it was good, man.
Yeah, man. Nah, man. Can't never hear enough about Coach Tomey and the great things, that he did for, all of us as his former players, even after, as you brought up. I mean, even after we played for him years later, come back supporting us as coaches, supporting us, in our everyday endeavors, man. Just, can't thank him and Miss Nancy enough. You were a part of the Desert Storm teams. You were the Desert Storm teams. Tell us about the attitude and the aggression formed, with those guys, with that group. How did that all come together?
I think, after our 91 year when we were 4-7 and giving up a lot of points, I think Teddy, myself, we were, I ain't gonna say hell-bent on trying
Teddy
to make
Bruschi, for the people that don't know.
Right. Sorry, Teddy Bruschi. We were just hell-bent on trying to make sure, like, I had never played on a defense that was a bad defense. My senior year of high school, we gave up 23 points for an entire season plus 2 playoff games. And first year ever playing football, I was undefeated and I scored on. So a lot of guys just, I don't know if they really believed that we could do it the way we had no idea we could turn to that. But I think once we, it's just a lot of guys that were pissed off, a lot of guys that were under-recruited, a lot of guys that just wanted to come together and just be, not even going to say part of something, but just make sure we showed who we were and do it all for each other. And when I look at our defense back then, it was if you look at any interview from anybody around, everybody say, man, I was just trying to make sure I did it for my brother next to me. And that's where it was, man. It wasn't about, man, the accolades and everything else, but it was more about, man, let's make sure I don't let the next person down.
Did we lose Brandon?
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I think we lost Brandon for a second there.
Can you hear me now?
Trying to get him back. But no, man, Brandon, I'm, just thinking of Brandon right now, man, just, I always he's one of the toughest players that I ever saw. He's one of the toughest players that I ever saw as far as just the size and the attitude and everything that he has, man. I mean, the toughness that he brought in the way that he led those teams through just sheer physical play, is the thing that I really remember him for, man. And yeah, just, definitely want to get him back connected so we can finish this. But, just thinking of Brandon, I'm just thinking of what he brought to the table to the U of A. I feel like he was, a lot of the heart and soul of that defense that we had. Yeah, for sure. And so he's back. Brandon, you back?
Yeah, I'm right here.
I can't hear him.
I'm here, though.
Hello?
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't hear him.
I can hear him. Yeah, he's there.
I know I can't hear him.
You don't have head. You have a head.
These are the ones we use all the time. Is there? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's breaking up. All right. Okay. Where was I at? Okay. Tell me some memories of that Miami game that you guys played against, because, you know, to me, that was the game that got you guys on my radar as far as, you know, these guys are for real. You know, I had seen you guys' record before that, and I seen how the defense was playing, but the talent that Miami team had, I thought there was no way that Arizona could compete, and you guys came out and was able to defeat those guys in the Fiesta Bowl. Tell me a little bit about that.
You know, that's funny when you say that, because when we played them the year before and lost, missed the field goal, I knew when we were able to see them again, I told my brother back then, I don't know how they're going to score. Oh, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I hear you.
Oh, sorry. So I didn't know how they were going to score, and we were big. My brother and I were big Miami fans back then, right? And I said, man, look, they don't have Gino Torretta. They don't have half of their receivers. I don't see how they're going to score. I didn't know they were going to barely get past the 50. But we were motivated then, man. It was like, bro, this is the time to show who we were. And we were doing that up in Phoenix. Man, that made it even better doing it on ASU's territory. We took over that stadium. I love it.
Yeah, no, man, I saw that game, and I was like, man, that's probably the school I could go to, because, you know, I always knew that I wanted to play both sports. I played basketball, and then when I seen you guys playing so well in football, I said, I'm going to fit somewhere in there, because I played offense and defense. So I was like, hey, at worst, I can end up playing DB or something, you know, on that team. So, man, that was, to me, one of the most exciting defensive teams that I ever saw. Like you said, you know, Teddy Bruschi. I mean, you guys had so many guys that played, you know, on that defense that made plays for you guys, you know, and it was just exciting to watch. Brandon Sanders is our guest in the Captain's Corner, brought to you by Jack Farrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Farrier since 1960, here to get you there. I remember, Brandon, in the weight room when I was playing basketball. I was on the basketball team. I wasn't getting much playing time. And you came in the weight room, man, and you didn't have to talk to me at all. You know what I'm saying? Because you were a senior. I think I was a freshman, maybe a sophomore. And, you know, you were, you know, heading to the NFL, having a great career. And you walked up to me and said, hey, man, you could be an NFL DB, man. Did you play football? You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yeah, I used to play, but I don't know if I'm going to play here, you know. And you was like, man, you need to get at a try, man. And that really gave me a lot of confidence, man. And you know, just hearing from, you know, one of the best players in Arizona history, you know, say that I could actually play at this level, man. You know, tell me a little bit more about, you know, how you came up with those type of leadership skills.
You know what, man, for me, I love watching basketball, play whatever little bit I did in high school, but I always had an eye of people that could move. And you know, I remember you know, stocky, and I was like, man, that dude could play ball. You know what I'm saying? And then of course we're all in McHale. So for me, especially when I was young, when I first got to Arizona, no disrespect to anybody that was here when I first got here, but I didn't feel like the seniors really welcomed everybody. You know what I mean? I think on the basketball team, all the seniors did, but not on the football team. And I wanted to make sure that never happened while I was playing in Arizona. I wanted to make sure everybody felt welcome, and not how I was going to feel. And so I wanted to make sure I did that anytime. It didn't matter what sport. And I thank you. And that's what I was about. It's about, man, making sure it's one Arizona like Desiree has us right now. That's how I felt it needed to be. So whether you were a freshman, sophomore, or just stepped on the Arizona campus, man, I wanted us all to be together. Mm-hmm. And so and then of course I could see, like, you know, you was a good athlete, great basketball player, great football player, but just a great athlete in general. I mean, you can do whatever you want to do, and you had that attitude. So for sure, I saw that.
Yeah, man. I appreciated that. You played in the NFL. Tell us a little bit about that experience and that opportunity.
Oh my goodness, man. So for me, it was fantastic. It's not like that way for everyone because it is a business. But I can tell you when I was in, I had a brief spot in Kansas City, which was great for me to learn, but everybody was older. And when I mean older, like I grew up watching Marcus Allen. Marcus Allen, my locker was next to Marcus Allen when I was in Kansas City. And then when I got to New York, everybody was like around my same age. I mean, we had Michael Strahan, Jason Sehorn. I had played against Jesse Armstead. These are names that, everybody in New York Giant history know. Like Jason Sehorn was just in town last week because his daughter actually goes to school in Arizona. And, it made it better for me because we're all around the same age. So then I can lean on a lot of guys and then having Coach McDuff there on special teams and of course, great John Fossil, rest in peace. You got a chance to really grow up and learn defense. And I really learned defense under Coach John Fox. So for me, it was fantastic. Once I learned that, it was hard to go back to anything else or anywhere else because I'm like, this is like cream of the crop of guys right here.
Brandon, David Kelly here real quick. Just describe the mood of the guys as they get to the stadium and get ready for today.
Just hopping off the bus right now. We just got to the stadium. Focused. That's what I can say. The mood is focused. The mood is ready. I think they're up. They're at them. They've been on everything as far as hydration and everything else. They're ready to go.
Brandon, you were one of the hardest hitters. You were the hardest hitter that I saw at my time at the U of A and after. No disrespect to Chuck Cecil. I always respect my OGs. You know what I'm saying? He's way before us. But I have to say, you're the hardest hitter I saw at the U of A. And the close second is Chester Burnett. Chester the hard tester. Chester was a problem, especially for me at practice. But our thanks to Arizona 1995 safety and captain Brandon Sanders for joining us this week in the Captain's Corner.
Thank you guys, man. Bear down.
Bear down. Appreciate you.
Your Captain's Corner with Kelvin Efon. Captain's Corner is brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier, since 1960, here to get you there.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. There's a rumor summer might finally be over. And with cooler temperatures on the way, it's a good time to stop by any of the 14 area Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care locations for a free tire inspection and air pressure check. If it's time for tires, the long-lasting Michelin Defender 2 is your Arizona-proof choice. Check out jackfurriers.com for savings on Michelin and all your favorite brands. More savings and no hidden extras. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
Hi, this is Peter Costa, former governor of the New York Stock Exchange and proud member of the Advisory Business Council with Meridian Wealth Management. One thing I've learned over 40 years on the floor is the value of a trusting relationship with your financial advisor. After all, everyone is a genius when the markets are going up, but when they drop, that's when the guidance of a professional is most important. For more information about Meridian, call 719-1433 or visit online at meridianwealthllc.com.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
You mean they don't use yesterday's newspaper?
No, they use the latest in technology and innovation to eliminate bugs, bees, termites, weeds, and more.
So no as seen on TV salt guns?
Nope, only solutions that target insect biology, using chemistry to help protect the environment, people, and their pets.
You are so smart.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
What you're driving right now may be worth more than you think, and O'Reilly Chevrolet wants to buy it. No matter the make or model, we'll pay top dollar today or trade up to a top quality pre-owned vehicle from our huge selection of used cars, trucks, and SUVs. We're on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or visit O'Reilly.com. It's pretty easy. We'll simply pay you more for what you're driving than anybody else. O'Reilly Used Cars, giving you more since 1924.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway. And discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
If you're feeling overwhelmed by the thought of a home remodel, don't stress. The Window Depot is here to help. At the Window Depot, we're your one-stop warehouse for everything you need for your next remodel. Windows? Check. Doors? Got it. Cabinets, countertops, and everything in between, you'll find it all here at the lowest prices. Whether it's a kitchen, bathroom, or whole home makeover, our experienced designers are ready to bring your dream home to life, all at unbeatable prices. Find a location near you or shop online at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think first chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
For over 30 years, Tucson has been putting its trust in First Chiropractic for auto and on-the-job injuries. They're locally owned and a proud sponsor of the U of A radio broadcasts. So if you've been injured, make the right choice. First
Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Hey, it's Mrs. HVAC. If you're anything like me, a mom, a wife, and maybe a little bit crazy about the air I breathe and the water I drink, then listen up. Picture Rock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing has you in mind with our home wellness check. That's 3 visits a year to make sure your AC is happy, your plumbing isn't plotting against you, and your water isn't secretly weird. We'll even test your water quality because you deserve spa water, not swamp vibes. Let's keep your home sane, even if you're not. Call us today or book online at picturerockscooling.com.
Wildcats Nation, are you ready?
Fafita, gun, takes the snap, firing, corner of the end zone. Cop, touchdown, Arizona.
That's a strike by Noah Fafita.
Short drop, looking right. Here comes the pressure. They sack him, get him to the ground. Oh, perfect timing for the Wildcats. Kick is up and it's blocked. Wildcats block it and they pick it up. And I don't think anybody's going to catch him. And it's picked off. Trayton Stukes throws to the back of the end zone. It's caught. Samuelson, touchdown, Arizona.
Bear down, Cats. Let's go. Our Window Depot coverage of UA football continues with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We are counting down to kickoff for Arizona football. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Peter will take the snap. Handoff Reesno, got a hole, first down over the 40, out to midfield, first down Arizona, crosses midfield to the BYU 49-yard line.
Reesno finds a crease. That was just a split zone play, and Reesno takes that thing right up the hole, finds a great crease, and just takes it upfield.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
You might just be getting up our final hour of the show as we take you up to network pregame at 7:30 with Brody Dryden and Kyle Quinn. Brody will also be on the call for today's basketball game. We got a basketball game at McHale Center today, a pretty big exhibition game with the St. Mary's Gales. You'll hear that right here on Wildcats Radio 1290 coming up at 1:30 this afternoon with coverage and tip-off at 2. So stay with us all day long. It's going to be a long day, folks. We got a lot to get to. So keep it here all day long. No need to change the channel. We're going to see if we can beat the book coming up here. Arizona is a 1.5 favorite in this game. The over-under 47. We'll also check in to see what's going on around the rest of the country. There were some interesting games already last night in college football. Keys to the game, what will those be? It's brought to you by Royal Automotive. And who will be that Houston Cougar that gets underneath the Wildcats' skin? Your pest of the game is straight ahead as well. All right, college football, what is happening today?
Let's take a look at what's happening today around the rest of the country. The Wildcats Radio 1290 Game Day Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, Arizona's leading injury law firm.
Well, let's start with really what happened last night. There were some interesting games on the docket last night. Louisville upsets number 2 Miami 24-17. 21. We had a chance to see Bill Belichick and company. They lose again on the road at California. How about the Bears? The Bears are 5-2, 2-1 in the ACC, although it looked like North Carolina was about to go win that game. I don't know if you guys saw the guy fumbled out of the end zone. And just as he was crossing the goal line, lost control of the ball. And it went out of the end zone for the touchback, and California got the ball and ran out the clock. Things not going all that well for Ken Niumatalolo at his second year at San Jose State. They fall to Utah State 30-25. San Jose State just 2-5, and Minnesota beats Nebraska 24-6. A lot of rumors, guys, about Matt Rule, the head coach there, potentially being the next boss at Penn State. Dylan Rael was sacked 9 times in that game by the Golden Gophers, who are actually now 3-1 in the Big Ten and 5-2 overall.
Row that boat.
Roll that boat to Happy Valley. Is that what's happening right now?
You know, and it sounds like the players are hearing it because
he's gone.
That little, you know,
because he didn't deny it.
Uh-oh. He said, I'm here forever.
Yeah.
I'm staying in Nebraska for life.
No, he didn't say that.
At least, hey, I respect it, though.
Yeah,
I've seen so many coaches did that, and then he already signed the contract.
Yeah.
Big 12 action today. Here's what we've got. Obviously, this will be the second, there's another game that starts at 9 o'clock as well. That's going to be Baylor at TCU. Baylor 2-1, TCU 1-2. Elsewhere, number 7, Texas Tech visits Arizona State. That's going to be a really good one. That's a 1 o'clock start today. The Sun Devils will try to knock the Red Raiders off the realm of being unbeaten. 6-0, 3-0 Texas Tech. Arizona State comes in at 2-1. West Virginia is at Central Florida. One of those two teams will get their first Big 12 win today. BYU will host Utah in the Battle of Utah. It is the 15th ranked Cougars this week. They had number 23 Utes. That will be in Provo. BYU, the other unbeaten team in the conference at 6-0 and 3-0. And also undefeated in conference is Cincinnati. They are 5-1, the number 24 team in the country. They visit Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State winless in conference play now, having lost 12 straight games in the Big 12. They are 1-5. Overall. Top 25 scoreboard games involving ranked teams today. Number 10 LSU will visit Vanderbilt. Vandy 5-1 on the season. Number 1 Ohio State on the road at Wisconsin. Luke Fickell continues to have trouble. The Ohio State grad, he is 2-4, and they have not won a game in the Big 12 yet this season. Number 3 Indiana paid $11.6 million to Kurt Signetti this week. Does that just blow your mind that Indiana, a basketball school, is now paying their head football coach almost $12 million?
We live in a different world.
Somebody was saying to me, my boy Kevin Smickey, I'm gonna have him on soon. Mountain View great. U of A football player. He told me, he said, if Indiana can win, U of A can win too. I said, Indiana got some different money over there right now, man. Exactly. I say, we got to think about it. Yeah. That's some different bread right there that they playing with right now.
That's long green.
Yeah, Ole Miss number 5 at number 9 Georgia today. Ole Miss has 6-0 and 3-0 on the season. 8th ranked Oregon at Rutgers. You think Rutgers can win that game, Glenn Howell?
Yes, I think they can. I think they can because I think after watching that last game that they played, I think Rutgers can beat them. And you know, Oregon's down right now. I think they're a little disappointed because they thought they were unbelievably they were just never going to lose.
18th ranked Virginia will host Washington State this afternoon. Number 11 Tennessee on the road at Alabama. It is the greatest intersectional rivalry in the country. Number 20 Southern California will visit 13th ranked Notre Dame today at Notre Dame Stadium. And what else do we got? I think that's all involving ranked teams today in college football. That is your scoreboard.
The Wildcats Radio 1290 Game Day Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, Arizona's leading injury law firm.
On the Arizona front, volleyball goes on the road and gets a win yesterday over Central Florida, the first of 3 straight games that they will play. Soccer is home tomorrow at noon at Mulcahy Stadium. They'll take on number 12, Texas Tech. We've also got beach volleyball at home this weekend for their fall classic over at the Bear Down Beach. So several things happening, as well as softball has got their fall schedule happening this weekend as well. I believe the softball ladies will play. Actually, they do not play today. They played last night. And, of course, we've got basketball at McHale Center today, St. Mary's, coming up at 2 o'clock. All right, you got a bunch of young men that are going home today to play their first games, or play their first games at Wildcats in the Houston area. Dalton Johnson, Kendrick Risino among those. We heard from them this week on the chance to go back and what it's like to grow up in Houston, rooting for teams like the Texans and the Longhorns.
My family, we grew up Texans fans. My dad's a Cowboys fan. I support him sometimes if he's watching them alone. But, yeah, we grew up Texas fans, University of Texas fans. But, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can say the same thing. I grew up a Texans fan, but only because, the first player I ever met was Arian Foster.
How many family members are you going to have at this game, and did you have to hit up your teammates to get tickets or anything of that nature?
Shoot, I'm still hitting my teammates up. I don't know how many people I'm supposed to have.
Yeah, I'm at I think I'm at 28 or 30. Yeah, I've been moving quick to get tickets, so hopefully, people can't make it and I can dish them out to kid.
What's the normal allotment that you get for a game, or the normal amount of people who will come?
I think last year at TCU, I think I had 45 people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, if we're playing here, normal is, I guess, 4, the normal 4 we get. But when we were at, TCU? Yeah, I think I had about 25. The Alamo Bowl, that was the most. I think I had 36. Yeah.
So I've seen at some of the home games, customized graphic T-shirts and stuff. Are there any of your family members doing stuff like that for you?
Yeah, my people, they always do the graphic tees. I don't know. I thank them for it.
For both of you, what does it mean to have that support?
Oh, it means the world. I mean, that's my support system. You know what I mean? Without them, I don't think I'd be anything.
Yeah, I would piggyback on that. It means everything to me, especially, when it's, family members that aren't able to, see me play in person as much. And, I get to go home to Houston, and play in front of them. And, it just fuels me to, play better and, give them what they came to see and just, let them realize they're my motivation and really show that.
So tell us about just Katy, Texas, and the football culture
there. Katy, Texas football, I'd be trying to tell the guys in the locker room, but, they never believe me. But, when Friday comes around, you have mom and pop shops, and small town restaurants, closing early to go to a high school game. I think football really means something. But, I'm so glad I went there to Katy High School. I feel like that football program is really college-like, and it got me ready for the next level. And, it's carried over, so I'm really thankful for Coach Joseph and, the football staff over there.
And since you've been here since 2021, what do you make of the wave of players from Texas coming over? I'm sure it's only grown since you've gotten here.
Yeah, with the previous staff, it wasn't as much. I know they were more West Coast, and, Coach B and his staff came in. And Coach B even said, he's going to go get Texas guys. And, I was all aboard with that because, Texas football means a little something more.
All right, this will be the only trip that the Wildcats will take to Texas this season, as they'll host Baylor coming up a little bit later. Last year, going to TCU, the Wildcats fell. Another guy that we mentioned is from Texas is Riley Wilson. And I asked Riley just about the defensive mentality, because you got a lot of guys from Texas on this defense. Kelvin, you talked about it a few weeks ago. You got the likes of Max Harris and Dalton Johnson and Riley Wilson, and Myron Robinson is also on this defensive side of the ball. And I asked Riley just about the mentality that Texas players bring to playing defense.
Tremendous. I think the threshold for Myron's just going to be through the roof. He's a fellow Texas guy, so I have a high standards and high expectations for guys from Texas in the linebacker room. And I think he's going to be a tremendous player. I'm so excited for him just to get his chance. And like I said, we have a lot of guys who can play. And for him to go in there and have that type of play, I mean, you got to see his speed and his aggression. So I'm super happy for him to just get an opportunity and for Coach Brungill to throw a freshman in there and get some real game reps. And I think he's going to have a bright future here at the University of Arizona.
Riley, you mentioned obviously Myron's from Texas. I mean, you're from Texas, Dalton, Max. I mean, what is the mentality that you guys bring to defensive play in football?
Texas football is just different. It's like a religion. And I think just growing up in Texas and being in that type of culture of football, you're bred with a different mentality. You treat football as your way of life, and it's just how you eat, sleep, and breathe. It's just all football. So I think all those guys just they resemble that. They wake up every day and they're thankful to play the game, and they love doing it.
Yeah, I'm talking about Myron Robinson, a freshman out of San Antonio, he's only played in 3 games, but he's the guy that that literally has a bright future in this defense as he continues to progress here at Arizona. All right, let's see if we can beat the book today.
Tucson, it's time to beat the book. Will the Cats beat the spread? It's time to look at the numbers and find out how you should bet the book so you can beat the book. Bet the Book is sponsored by Casino del Sol. Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf.
All right, this game is tricky because Arizona is a 1.5-point favorite. However, the Wildcats have not necessarily played that well on the road in the Brent Brennan era so far. So there's still a lot to prove. I'm going to start with Kelvin on this today. Kelvin, what do you think? Arizona minus 1.5 today.
Yeah, I like the way that we played here at home. I like how we always play at home. But so far, we haven't proved on the road yet. And so I'm not as optimistic. I think it's 27-24 Houston. So, yeah, I think I'm going to have to go with Houston today.
Wow. Glenn Howell, how about that?
I'm thinking that they're going to bounce back because of the leadership on this team. And I think they were really pissed off about this game, about losing BYU. So I'm gonna go with Arizona and minus the points.
Minus 1.5. I think Arizona wins this game today. I don't know that the Houston is that much more talented. I think the two teams are very even, but I think that Arizona's defense obviously is better, and I think that'll carry the day. So I'm going to take the Wildcats as well and lay the 1.5. So Glenn and I taking the Wildcats. Kelvin, Houston plus the 1.5. 47.5 for the second straight week on the over-under. We had that last week until it got to overtime. I'll start with Glenn on that one. What do you got? Over or under 47.5?
I think it's going to be under.
Under?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be, again, defense is going to rule the day in this one. And Kelvin?
I said 27-24. I can't change that.
27-20. So that's 51.
Yes, sir.
So that's over. All right. Glenn and I are on one side. Kelvin's on the other side today. We'll find out who beats the book after the game.
That is how you bet the book so you can beat the book. Bet the Book is sponsored by Casino del Sol. Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway. And discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
Do you trust those in charge of your financial future? Trust is founded on 3 core principles: competence, honesty, and benevolence. Those making decisions about your financial future should always place your best interest ahead of their own. I'm Natalie Fernandez-Lee, and at Meridian Wealth Management, fostering trusted relationships with our clients is our top priority. Call us at 719-1433 or visit meridianwealthllc.com to learn more today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Broadway in Tucson presents the 20th anniversary season featuring 7 Tucson premieres, including Disney's Beauty and the Beast, Hell's Kitchen, Moulin Rouge, The Wiz, Back to the Future, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and more. Secure your signature season tickets today and get the best seats at the lowest prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your 2025-2026 season tickets today.
Hi, I'm Jordan Benjamin with Dunright Services. When your home or business needs HVAC, plumbing services, or electrical work, trust a true local Tucson company, Dunright Services. We pride ourselves on delivering top-notch service, fair pricing, and expert craftsmanship. The job isn't finished unless it's done right. Weekend emergency? No problem. Just give us a call. We're here when you need us. You deserve the best, and Dunright Services delivers. Call us today for a free estimate at 520-369-3966.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. There's a rumor summer might finally be over. And with cooler temperatures on the way, it's a good time to stop by any of the 14 area Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care locations for a free tire inspection and air pressure check. If it's time for tires, the long-lasting Michelin Defender 2 is your Arizona-proof choice. Check out jackfurriers.com for savings on Michelin and all your favorite brands. More savings and no hidden extras. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Up your game in a new Buick or GMC from Royal Buick GMC. At Royal, we always deliver a quality vehicle at a great price. Score a great deal with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff and our transparent online pricing. Plus, Royal offers a 72-hour buyback guarantee. Score big at Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. See dealer for details. Royal Buick GMC in the Tucson Auto Mall or royaltucson.com.
There are many reasons you might need Dorado Rockin' Materials. A few bare spots in the yard, the driveway needs filling in, or it could be that the yard needs a whole makeover. Whatever the reason, if your yard has the summertime blues, Dorado Rockin' Materials has everything from sand to boulders and every rock and pebble in between. If you need help spreading it, we have options for that too. Call 400-4233. Dorado Rockin' Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
Our Window Depot coverage of UA football continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the tight end, Glenn Howell, and the captain, Calvin Efon.
Wigman wants to throw into the end zone. What a catch! He went up high, and Dean Connors with one hand pulled it in with his left hand, fell on the number 44 on the back of his jersey, but falls into the end zone, and the Cougars extend the lead to 6 with a point after to come. What a grab by Dean Connors.
Yeah, another portal prince, Dean Connors, out of he's from Hawaii, but spent the first 3 years of his career at Rice, now at Houston, where he's had a chance to become the primary running back for the Cougars this season. One-handed catch came last week in a win over Oklahoma State. Let's hear from Willie Fritz on that dynamic play by his running back.
I've had a lot of dudes. Tajay Spears, a kid that plays with the Titans. He had an unbelievable catch one time. It was really good. It was a hell of a catch. I thought Connor did a good job of making sure that it was the only person who was going to catch that ball was going to be Dean.
Absolutely. Dean Connors, again, he's a local kid from the Houston area. I mentioned played at Rice. Didn't really have a whole lot of love coming out of high school, and that's one of the reasons he's now ending up at playing for the Houston Cougars.
Number one, it was, talking to Coach Fritz and Coach Joseph and Coach Nagel. They really, sold me their mission, and, I loved every bit of it. And then coming here and meeting the guys and just, immediately fitting in and them welcoming me, I was an opponent for them last year, so, they probably had an excuse not to like me a little bit, but I didn't feel like that at all. I felt like they all, just welcomed me in with open arms, and that was really, really great. Coming out of high school, I had like 0 offers. I had nothing to play football at the next level, so being in the transfer portal was sort of like I got that experience of a high schooler that had like offers. So that was my first. I was telling my family that Houston was my first Division I football offer, like besides Rice coming out of junior college. So it was pretty cool.
He's got rushing touchdowns. He's got receiving touchdowns so far this year. Dean Connors could be a guy that could be a pest here shortly coming up for the Arizona Wildcats. But again, you've got another solid running back that Arizona is going to have to deal with on the inside in this ballgame.
Yeah, another big body.
Yeah.
First thing I was thinking about when he said he went to Rice and he's at Houston, I said, well, he ain't have to move far. Yeah. Most guys got to go across the country. He stayed right in the city, not too far away from each other. But, those big physical running backs, man, give us problems. And he's going to be a handful today for sure.
Yeah, he's the guy that I was circling on my little list of guys because big backs – we have not done well against it, and I think they're going to try to run the ball on us. We got to force them to pass the ball. Let them pass it. I think we'll do a pretty good job. We just got to not let him run the ball, and that guy can be a problem.
His 90 yards per game average right now, 5th best in the Big 12. Let's pause for station identification. You're listening to Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus Media station. The Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com. Along with Kelvin Efon and Glenn Howell, JW Madden, I'm David Kelly. It's Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. We've got you for 30 more minutes down to the bottom of the hour. Brody Dryden, Kyle Quinn will take over. ASE countdown to kick off as the Wildcats getting set for homecoming Saturday down in Houston. For the Cougars, we've been talking a little bit about Dean Connors, the running back for the Cougars. Let's hear more from Willie Fritz, who, again, we mentioned a lot of these guys are coming in, haven't been on teams before, and have had to really quickly go into leadership roles for their clubs, and Dean Connors is one of those guys for the Houston Cougars.
Some guys, relish the grind physically and mentally. He's one of those guys. Some guys, it's hard for them to do it day after day after day after day after day after day. He can do it, and he's, he's kind of a old school kind of guy. He loves practice, and he does everything well. He lines up well. He blocks. He runs in the core. He runs on the perimeter. He can catch the ball, as you saw, and then has a lot of juice and energy all the time. So, he's one of our leaders, without question. That's unusual for a guy who got here so late.
And there are some within the Houston realm that are comparing him to one guy by the name of Cam Scadaboo. We talked to somebody earlier this week that said that people might want to put the brakes on that comparison right there. He's not maybe quite that, but at least has that type of mentality. Does Dean Connors. Will he be the pest of the game? Let's find out.
Who is the pest that the Wildcats need to be free from to win today's game? The Pest of the Game is brought to you by Essential Pest Control. Pest control with science. In Tucson at essentialpest.com.
He's not going to be my pest of the game. I'm going to go with actually the quarterback, Connor Wegman, because, again, you've got a quarterback who can run the football, and that was an issue last week for the Arizona Wildcats. Wegman comes in, 216 yards in 6 games. It's not a great average, only 24 yards, but 52 carries. So there's a commitment there to run the ball with Connor Wegman. I'm sure they saw the tape, and they're going to try to take advantage of that today. So that could be the guy, again, if the Wildcats haven't figured it out, that could give you some issues in this ball game.
I'll add to that, DK, 5 touchdowns in the goal line, the red zone area.
Yeah.
So he's basically, they use the other big back as the blocking fullback, and he's the tailback around that goal line.
He's got more rushing touchdowns than Dean Connors.
Yeah. He's my guy, too. I told you, I said he was one. Dean Connors was on my list, but Connor, I said when I saw that those touchdowns, and then I saw what Big Boy did last week.
Yeah,
inside we got to be able to count for that guy, and he can be a problem.
Yeah, and I knew you guys would take him, so I ended up taking.
I normally take a defensive player, so that's a switch for me.
We swap roles this week. We're swapping roles this week. I'm taking Jalen Garner, linebacker, number 40. He has 42 tackles, 6'1", 225, a fast guy, but aggressive guy. I think he's a guy that we have to get blocks because he makes tackles.
Nice. You didn't pick a Texan guy?
No, you're from Georgia.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You didn't pick a Texas guy?
Hey, Glenn, I call it how I see it. I see it, man. Hey, I love my Texas, but I was looking down the line there's no Texas boy. Yeah, and I'll say something about that Texas thing. I'm from Texas, man, but I'm from Arizona too, man. Yeah. I've been out here longer than when I grew up in Texas. It's just them roots, man. You know how they go.
So Jalen Garner, Connor Wegman, those are the two guys that we think will most get underneath the Wildcats' skin today down in Houston.
That's our best of the game. Brought to you by Essential Pest Control. Pest control with science. In Tucson at essentialpest.com.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. Two powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
From offices and warehouses to retail spaces and restaurants, the right lighting transforms your environment. At Arizona Commercial Lighting, we've been proudly locally owned and operated for nearly 40 years. Our extensive inventory of in-stock lighting solutions is designed to meet both commercial and residential needs, with quality, variety, and value you won't find anywhere else. Visit us at 1436 East 17th Street or explore our offerings online at azcommerciallighting.com. Be sure to ask about available TEP rebates. Arizona Commercial Lighting, powering business through precision lighting.
Discover your perfect vehicle at Cactus Auto, Tucson's trusted destination for certified pre-owned cars for over 30 years. They offer a wide range of certified pre-owned vehicles featuring the brands and models you love. Their finance experts are here to provide you with top dollar trade-in offers and help you find the best financing options, regardless of your credit history. With approved credit, enjoy no payments for up to 90 days. Trust Cactus Auto for quality, affordable pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, all backed by incredible savings and a 7-day exchange guarantee. Visit cactusauto.com.
We are Casino del Sol. We are more than a casino. We are the moment, the energy, the escape. We are exquisite in every detail, unique in every experience, and unforgettable in every way. From thrilling games to world-class dining, electric nights to luxurious stays. We are fun, bold, extraordinary, and we are entirely original. We are the place you never want to leave. We are Casino del Sol. Enterprise of the Bosco Yaqui Tribe.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway. And discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' Cay. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Visit Lennar's 2 communities in Rockin' Cay with home savings up to $25,000 and limited time interest rate and closing cost incentives on select move-in ready homes. LiveRockingCay.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Day in and day out, we're inundated with commercials asking to review your portfolio or telling you to get a second opinion. This is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management, and I want to share the advice I give people every day. Talk to 3 different advisors at 3 different firms. It's important to understand their differences and find someone you can trust. I want Meridian to be one of your 3, and then you will decide who is best for you. To learn more, call us at 719-1433 today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Coach Tommy Lloyd here. Did you spend money on your AC this summer? My friends at Rightway will give you back up to $3,000 for those repairs.
That's right. No matter who did the repair, we'll buy it back for up to $3,000 towards the purchase of a new heating and air system.
No repair bills this year? No worries. Get 0% financing and no payments for 18 months. $3,000 trade-in for your old AC. 10-year parts and labor warranty. Plus a free system upgrade.
Have an aging heating and air system out of warranty? We'll inspect it absolutely free. Call Rightway Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing today. 520-201-8220.
Our Window Depot coverage of UA football continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the tight end, Glenn Howell, and the captain, Calvin Efon.
Wigman again stands in the shotgun, takes the snap. Wigman steps up in the pocket, delivers near side, caught. Steph Johnson touchdown with just under 6 minutes left in the game. A 27-yard touchdown catch. Wigman to Steph Johnson on the near sideline, and the Cougars close the gap to 8 with the point after to come.
Yeah, Stephon Johnson, unfortunately is doubtful for today's ball game with an injured foot. He's a senior out of Houston, Texas, home kid out of DeSoto, transfer from Oklahoma State, so we may not see him today. A couple other guys to keep an eye on that defensive side of the ball for the Cougars today are the McCutcheon brothers. You've got big brother Latrell McCutcheon, little brother Latravian McCutcheon. They're out of Austin, Texas. Latrell started his career at Oklahoma playing for who's the coach now? I can't for just his name. Lost it that quick. The coach at USC.
The guy is I know you're talking about.
Gosh, let's see. See how quick you can forget stuff like that. Lincoln Riley. Thank you. Thank you. J-Dub with the save there. Yeah. Started his career at Oklahoma playing for Lincoln Riley, then followed Lincoln Riley to USC, and now has returned home to play in Houston. I had a chance to chat with Latrell McCutcheon Sr., and I asked him about his time at USC, lining up on the opposite side of a quarterback by the name of Caleb Williams.
I mean, if you know me, you know I talk a lot of trash, and Caleb was the same way. So, I mean, we're real close. That's kind of one of my guys, even to this day. So, just being able to have that experience with him and being around greatness like that, it was something to see for sure. Absolutely. We had a lot of battles.
I would imagine you did. Speaking of battles, it's interesting because you've actually played here in Tucson against the Wildcats twice, one as a Trojan, and then last year coming back again in your first year with the Cougars. But I want to take you back to that game here in 2022 because that was the game that Dorian Singer went off for Arizona with 3 touchdowns. Now, were you covering Dorian at all that day?
Look, man, this crazy because I actually went to USC with Dorian too, and that's like one of my best friends right now. So that's actually insane that you say that because we played him again this year at Utah. But I mean, yeah, I wasn't really covering him too much that game.
Oh, there you go. So he wasn't beating up on you that day. That's a positive for sure. Right. We're chatting with Latrell McCutcheon Sr. He is a defensive back for the Houston Cougars. He is now playing in Houston alongside his brother, who is also on the team, Latravian, who goes by Trey. How much did that go into your decision, maybe when you were looking to leave USC, about where your third stop was going to be to go back to Houston and play alongside your brother?
Yeah, I think it played a huge factor in that, being that it was a lot easier for me to be able to build that trust with the coaching staff while I was going through that process. I feel like my brother being here is an added bonus, but, I mean, in the locker room, he's just one of the guys, but I can go home and be with my blood brother at the end of the day, so that's something that a lot of people can't say they've ever done. Not a lot of people that can say that they play at the D1 level with their blood brother.
Yeah, that's Latrell McCutcheon. Got to be fun for those guys to be able to play together on the college level, him and his brother Latravian.
I mean, it's fun playing with your brother on any level.
Yeah.
Pop Warner, junior high. Me and my brother played. Me and my brother played in high school together, and I had great success in college. But my most fun playing football was my senior year with my sophomore brother and all his friends. I had like 30 sophomores and 10 seniors on our team, but they were real good sophomores, and they ended up having, some of the best records in our high school history. But anytime that you can play with a brother, man, it's just another intensity that goes into the game.
Yeah, I had a chance to play with a Little League championship with my brother. I was 9 and he was 12. And that was awesome playing with your brother.
Yeah, no question about that. That has to be fun. For sure. All right, let's dive into a couple things before we get out of here today. I want to go back to one of the things we were talking about, obviously, in the last segment with the pest of the game, and that's the inside run defense that reared its head last week. And J-Dub, we'll go back to 8.5 here. Let's hear from Dalton Johnson first on this, and what they kind of a little bit about the philosophy of defending the inside run and how the Wildcats expect to hope to be better today in Houston.
I would just say it gets a little harder when it's quarterback run because technically they +1 you. We try to +1 in the box, but when you involve the quarterback, it +1's an extra blocker. So I think we're out of the wrong gap sometimes, myself included. There was multiple times where I should have been somewhere and I wasn't. I think just the +1, it can expose the defense. And so, it's got to be more aggressive on it.
And would you expect that Houston, seeing the trouble that maybe you guys had with that they might try to implement that a little bit more?
Yeah, I think they might. I know they like to, get their quarterback involved when they can. He doesn't run as much as the previous quarterback we just played did. But, they do like to use him when they can. So, I would expect it, and we're ready for it.
What's going to be key, guys? We mentioned down by the goal line. What's going to be key when they get into those situations on trying to maybe, defuse Mr. Connor Wegman down there?
Yeah, and watching the film, again, they were in the wrong position on some of those. If they would be in the right position, they went, the two guys went one way, and then the other guy was supposed to be in a certain spot in a gap. I don't think they have gap protection. I think they have just area spaces. But those guys, if we correct that, I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, I just think we have to be physical.
Yeah.
When you're playing big backs, you have to deter the offensive coordinator from wanting to run the ball by being extra physical. And now you force the team to have to pass, and you kind of know what they're doing. So I just think it's about bringing more physicality and putting hits on that quarterback to where the offensive coordinator want to take them out of harm's way.
Yeah.
Trayton Stukes on the inside run issues against BYU.
We got a lot of movement stuff up front. We just weren't executing how we were supposed to, and it's one fail, all fail with our defense. So, when one person's out there gap, if I'm not doing my job, it messes with the whole defense. So just didn't execute well enough to stuff those runs.
Wildcats fans, what are the big keys for today's game? Our keys to the game are brought to you by Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive Group, the dealership that is different.
All right, Wildcats, Houston Cougars. Kickoff coming up at 9 o'clock from Houston. Homecoming Saturday for the Cougs and company. What do the Wildcats have to do to spoil homecoming? We'll start with Glenn Howe. Keys to the game.
Keys to the game. Got to stop the run for Houston, and then we have to be able to run the ball. Let's get the ball and have some sustainable drives and run the football so we can make Houston feel like they're in a panic that they have to come back fast. And we got to score inside the 20. The 20's got to be more efficient.
Yeah.
We got to get way more efficient inside the 20. Then we got to do better on special teams. Let's have a complete game. I've been asking that for like for 600. This is the 7th game. Yeah, I've been asking them for 7th game to have a complete game, and this is the time we need to have a complete game. All phases of the game. Let's see if we can do that and we can get a win in Houston.
Well, I think for that, especially for the defense, I think you've got to stay out of the big plays, which obviously was the bugaboo at Iowa State, and we saw that last week as well. They gave up the 75-yarder early in the game, and I think I'd like to see maybe the defense figure it out sooner. Sometimes we see these big plays there early in the game as Danny and company are kind of trying to figure out what's happening on the other side, but you got to stay out of that early in the game. So maybe a faster start for the defense, figuring it out faster would be good. Third downs are going to be important. Danny talked this week about how they weren't as they didn't win as much in the 3rd and short, which is difficult to win in 3rd and short. But when this defense is playing really well, they can dominate in 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. So let's get. I think it was like 80% in favor of the BYU. Let's get back closer to see if we can get 50% in the 3rd and short. He called them the championship downs this week. So let's see if we can get back to that. And then for Noah in the red zone, I just think it's got to be quicker decisions. I think sometimes the decisions are not made quick enough. If I felt like Seth talked about the 2 that he missed, the 2 passes that he missed on that one red zone drive where they had to kick the field goal. I think it was in the 2nd quarter, and he had Sam Olsen open on the wheel. He's got to throw it quicker, and he's got to make that decision quicker. And sometimes it's weird because he's aggressive in some instances, but not maybe as aggressive in other instances. So more consistent aggressiveness, I think, from Noah Fafita is what I'd like to see in his decision-making in the red zone in this game. Kelvin.
I think the most important thing in this game is we have to take care of the football. I felt like turning over the football early in that game at Iowa was the key to getting them off to a good start and getting that crowd in a frenzy. So especially early and for the whole game, you have to take care of the football. You don't want to give up extra possessions to the opposing team. I feel like offense, you guys said it too, offense has to score. They're getting in the red zone. They're getting there. You have to score when you get down there. I'll take 3. I'll take 3 if there's no way that we could get an actual touchdown. I will take 3 and build from there. Let's make sure we come out of there with some points, though. I feel like when you don't score in those situation, it changes old Mo. It changes the momentum and gets the other team, feeling like they could have a better chance at winning, and it makes you feel like, man, my coach still don't got it together. Right.
Yeah.
And so then I think the defense has to get off the field. The defense needs to get 3 and outs again, to take that crowd away, to take the confidence away from the Houston Cougars. So get off the field. The defense has to get off the field.
All right. That's what we think the Wildcats need to do to win today in Houston.
Those are our keys for today's game. The keys to the game. Brought to you by Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive Group, the dealership that is different.
All right, let's hear one time. I want to go back to Seth Dagey here first, and we kind of got into this a little bit in the offensive segment, but didn't get a chance to finish it. One of the aspects, obviously, that in terms of the red zone was asked of him this week was, should they run more than they're passing in the red zone? Let's hear from Seth Dagey.
I think the biggest issue is should I run the ball at times? Absolutely. But it's not like I'm just calling passes. I am calling runs. But you also have to have this element of RPOs just in case they do stack the box. Now, do I think Noah got aggressive at times of going after it? Yes, I do. Do I need to fix that? Yes, I do. Do I take accountability for us not being good in the red zone? Absolutely. That's on me. But I'm going to own it. I'm going to fix it. Like in the overtime drive, we ran the ball. The one that we scored, we did run the ball. And then on the second one, I didn't want to take it out of his hands. Our best player is number 1. And so I wanted number 1 to have the best chance to go win the game. On second down, it was 2nd and 10. I did call a run. We spit, a flat route, which we've never done since I've been here. Just trying to be too aggressive again. And if we hand the ball, it probably walks in. So there was some runs called that I felt like would have been successful runs. We just got to fix how we're throwing RPOs and when we can throw them, and understanding, the difference of what I'm looking for and what I'm not. So I think, again, like at the end of the day, yes, it's on me and I need to fix it.
All right, spit a flat route. What the hell does that mean?
Yeah. He's got it. I think what he's saying when he spit the flat route, he's telling him that he's got to hit it right away. He's got to spit the flat route is right there. Hit it right away. You don't. I don't think you freaking. You got to think about what is if the flat route's open, hit it. Don't like not give it up or go to something else.
And I 100% respect what he said. He said, I put the ball in the best player's hands.
Right.
Yeah, well, let him do
Let me say something about that, though. I put the ball in the best player's hand. Guess who else knew that?
Yeah.
The defense.
Yeah.
The defense knew that exact thing. And a lot of times, as I told you guys earlier, I said when I got to scoring a lot of touchdowns, coach used me as a decoy. So you also, when I put that ball in his hands, I also have to use him as a decoy to get other people involved. And I think that's what he's trying to do in the RPO. But what happens is Noah trusts himself more than he trusts the other guys. You know, so, yeah, man, I just think a lot of times in those instances, as a coach, you have to call a locked play, a locked run, whereas you're going to make sure you hand it to that guy instead of putting it in the hands of a quarterback who's used to making plays because he's going to believe in himself more than he believe in the other guy. So as a coach, you just call the play if you want that run. He said himself that he ran the ball and we had some success. And I think you go back to it if you're having that success. So that's just the things that offensive coordinators juggle with.
All right, that is going to put a wrap on our program today. Don't forget, again, we've got Brody Dryden and Kyle Quinn coming up here at 7:30. They will have Meridian Wealth Management. They will have ASE countdown to kickoff for you. And then 9 o'clock is the ball game from Houston. Brian Jeffries, Lamont Lovett, McKenzie Hamilton. Now, here's how post-game is going to work. We'll be back with you at 1 or whenever the broadcast ends for post-game up until 1:30, and then basketball with Brody Dryden and Ryan Hansen from McHale Center at 1:30, and then we'll be back after that for the final phase of the football post-game show, so we could be with you all day till around 6:30 tonight. For Calvin Efon and for Glenn Howe, JW Madden, I'm David Kelly. Arizona and Houston, enjoy the game. Bear down, Arizona.
Bear down.
Back your hometown favorite. Get your very own exclusive University of Arizona debit card from Hughes Federal Credit Union. Pair your new card with a free checking account that earns dividends with no monthly fees, no minimum balance, and convenient 24/7 online and mobile banking. Visit one of our 7 convenient branch locations to get your card instantly or open an account online at hughesfcu.org/wildcats. Show your Wildcat spirit all year long with Hughes Federal Credit Union. Certain restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
It's your time to shine. This is Desert Diamond Casino, the spot with Arizona's only hometown sportsbook, the hottest slots and tables, and off-the-charts energy you won't find anywhere else. Here, there's always a fun-filled, action-packed, downright unforgettable night right around the corner. So let your hair down, turn the sparkle all the way up. It's time to live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino.
An enterprise of the Thana Ogden Nation.
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
ABC Water and Air, your local comfort experts. Proudly serving Tucson and surrounding areas with HVAC and plumbing services you can trust. Fast, affordable, and reliable. Got a breakdown? They guarantee service within 24 hours. From AC tune-ups to plumbing inspections and duct cleaning, they've got you covered. Ask them about their True Tune-Up Gold Package. It's more than just a checkup. Call 520-812-1597 or visit abcwaterandair.com. ABC Water and Air, always bringing comfort.
Discover your perfect vehicle at Cactus Auto, Tucson's trusted destination for certified pre-owned cars for over 30 years. They offer a wide range of certified pre-owned vehicles featuring the brands and models you love. Their finance experts are here to provide you with top dollar trade-in offers and help you find the best financing options, regardless of your credit history. With approved credit, enjoy no payments for up to 90 days. Trust Cactus Auto for quality, affordable pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, all backed by incredible savings and a 7-day exchange guarantee. Visit cactusauto.com.
What you're driving right now may be worth more than you think, and O'Reilly Chevrolet wants to buy it. No matter the make or model, we'll pay top dollar today or trade up to a top quality pre-owned vehicle from our huge selection of used cars, trucks, and SUVs. We're on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or visit O'Reilly.com. It's pretty easy. We'll simply pay you more for what you're driving than anybody else. O'Reilly Used Cars, giving you more since 1924.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilder.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Advantage Air Mechanical, the team you can trust. Call 792-9400.
When it comes to the comfort and indoor air quality of your home and office, Advantage Air Mechanical has you covered. Breathing healthy air and having reliable air conditioning is important. If you or someone you know is in need of air conditioning services or a new system installation, we are here to help. Advantage Air Mechanical, 792-9400. AZROC 214570.